Like we always do at this time, I go for mine, I get to shine. Now throw your hands up in the sky. I go for mine, I get to shine. Now throw your hands up in the sky.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome again to This Week in Startups. This is episode Tyler Cam. 9. Switching to the Tyler Cam. No Tyler Cam this week. Sorry, Tyler. Once again, you've been hosed. So welcome to another This Week in Startups. It is episode number 9. 9. We're approaching 10. And we've got the technical kinks out. Things are running flawlessly. We have sponsors. We have guests. We've got segments. We've got you calling in. We've got the news. We've got everything you want and could possibly want in a podcast. And boy, I was off last week, everybody knows, right, Tyler? Yes. And where was I? The World Series of Poker. Nice. Right. Everybody remembers that I joined, and you're supposed to play that special announcement music, like the dun 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 dun. Bum 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 bum. Yes, everybody knows I joined the Full Tilt Poker team. There it is. This is my shirt. And do we have the funny picture of me? You can pull up in a minute the funny pictures of me with my terrorist outfit on if you do a search back there in the control deck. But yes, Team Full Tilt Poker. I joined the Full Tilt Poker team, and these guys are awesome. Poker should be legal online, but I don't want to go on a whole tirade. But do you realize that poker online is a multi-billion-dollar business, and the great internet companies in the United States are not going to be able to participate in it? Because of stupid regulations we have and laws that prevent us from taking this huge business for the United States. And you know what's going to happen? All the companies, internet companies in Asia and in Europe, in London, all these different places, they're going to own it. Because we have antiquated regulations in this country. We have to make online poker available in the United States. We have to own this business. We have to get the jobs here. We have to tax it. And we can balance the budget with two things, Tyler. Drugs and gambling. So I'm Jason Calacanis. This is This Week in Startups, advocating drugs and gambling. No, I'm not advocating drugs and gambling.
Legalization of them.
I am advocating, yes, I am advocating the legalization of playing poker, which is a game of skill. It's not gambling, it's skill. Obviously, it's skill if you guys know that every time I play Kevin Pollak, I take all his money. I'm a more skilled poker player than Kevin Pollak. Therefore, I take his money. What is he saying? You've got the photo ready. Oh, the photo's ready. So here, take a look at me. That's me at the World Series of Poker in my full tilt gear, looking like a terrorist. This is my intimidation tactic, looking really ridiculous. No, obviously you don't want to have tails, so you wear the big reflective dark sunglasses, you got the hat, you got my nice Armani blazer there with a full tilt patch on it, which I thought would be a better option than actually wearing just like, like a t-shirt with full tilt on it. So I did my own outfit. World Series of Poker, an amazing event, 6,500 players from around the world, the best poker players on the planet. I made it to day 2. I came in 3,000 out of 6,500. Everybody tells me this is a great accomplishment. I can tell you I have never been more frustrated in my life than the moment I was knocked out of the World Series of Poker. It was so frustrating. I was literally ready to kill somebody. I was ready to punch a wall. I was ready to lift a car and throw it into the Wynn or the Rio Casino. I was insane. Which essentially means, Tyler, I've led a pretty charmed life. If the most frustrating thing I've experienced in my life is getting getting bounced out of the World Series of Poker. But I tell you, really exciting, and really thank Full Tilt Poker for sponsoring me to be in the World Series of Poker. And I think Full Tilt, it's a great company, and we're going to be involved with them in some other things. I'm thinking Full Tilt might sponsor both This Week in Startups and have them sponsor Kevin Pollak's chat show. And then the way we would integrate them into the show is I would beat Kevin at poker on a weekly basis so that people could learn how to play poker, i.e. the way I play, And then people could learn how not to play poker, like the bad poker techniques, in other words, the way Kevin plays. So you could learn how not to be a donkey like Kevin, or how to be a really good, successful poker player like Jason. This would be a good kind of thing. And we could have Kevin and I playing poker on 2 laptops, do a little segment. What do you think, Tyler?
I like it.
You like it?
I like it.
Tyler likes it,
What
okay.
were you saying yesterday, we were at that party and Richard Rosenblatt was there and he came to a game recently. And
Oh, Richard Rosenblatt, who runs Demand Media, who I'm going to have him on the show. I mean, we have a little bit of an odd relationship. It's like, I don't know if he likes me or not. He says he likes me, but you know, he seemed to like me, but whenever anybody likes you that much, you always wonder, do they really like you, or are they just, you know, like, I don't go around telling people I like them. Not many people come around and tell me, oh, I explicitly like you. Like, it's a weird thing to explicitly tell somebody they like you, which he did.
I tell Loic that.
You tell Loic you like him?
I tell Loic I like you, Loic.
Well, all right. I find it weird. I don't go around telling people I like you. It's a little bit weird. I don't know what you guys think. Anyway, yes, so Richard Rosenblatt said he came to play at the Wall Street Journal D Conference's poker game, which is one I host with Sky Dayton, who you know from Earthlink, who's going to be on the show, and Boingo, and what was the failed Helio. We won't bring that up. But you know, hey, he's a great entrepreneur. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And additionally, you know who else played at the game? Chad Hurley, Terry Semel, just to drop a few names. David Goldberg from Launch, and now he's doing SurveyMonkey, who's going to be on the program. And today's guest, Loren Bendele, who is the CEO of Savings.com. You actually played.
I did.
At the Wall Street Journal's D conference, the Underground Poker Game.
Yeah. I left with more money than I came with, so that's a good thing.
So what did you think of the game?
It was awesome.
It's a pretty great game.
It was better than the conference, actually.
Really?
The level of people that were there.
The level of people at that game.
Well, the conference was amazing, but the networking in that room was amazing.
Yeah, it was basically like at our table. We were at the same table for a while, right? It was like me, you, Bill Gurley, Terry Semel, Chad Hurley.
Yeah.
It was an amazing group of people playing poker.
I think Ariana Huffington showed up. Right?
Ariana Huffington showed up, and she's going to be on the program at some point. Because you know, Jason, I love the blogs. I love what you did with Weblogs Inc. That was my first meeting with Ariana Huffington. We were on a panel, and she goes, we're on a panel. She's like, this is before Huffington Post launches. I just want to say about the blogs, you know, Jason, I love blogs. I love what you're doing with blogs. I was flirting with the blogs, but Jason, now I'm ready to go steady with the blogs. And she's like talking in my ear.
Right.
And it was like it's like 500 people in the audience who were like, what's going on exactly? So then she starts, Ariana starts emailing me. Oh, Jason, but you don't actually hear a voice in the email, but I'm just interpreting. It's a dramatic a dramatic reading, if you will. Jason, I would love to have you over to my house to discuss the blogs and the Huffington Post, what I'm launching. And I was like, okay. So then I started making jokes with my wife, like, hey, Ariana Huffington's emailing me a lot. You better look out. But she's great, and she was there. And so you bought in for 1,000 clams. Because obviously there was not real money at play.
Not at all. That'd be illegal.
It was clams.
That would be illegal.
So you came in with 1,000 clams. How many clams did you leave with?
I left with 800 extra. So 1,800.
So basically you had an 800% return in 4 hours.
Not bad.
This is more than any of our startups will ever return.
Yeah, and I actually hadn't played that much poker. I called my my buddy Flip Johnson, who's lost more money than he's made, but he's played enough to be pretty good.
Yeah.
And he gave me like an hour tutorial. We both logged on to Full Tilt and played for free and like on the phone and practiced his tactics, and it worked.
And that's an important thing for people to realize. You can play at Full Tilt Poker, thank you for that plug, without gambling and breaking the law. You can play for free and you can learn. So what did he tell you? He told you to play ace, kings, queens, jacks. He told you the top 10 hands
Top
to play.
15, actually.
Top 15, he told you?
Top 15, super conservative, build up your table image, and then...
As a type player, and then steal sometime when you're on the button.
Exactly. Leverage your table image, and don't drink. That was the most important thing, actually.
Yes, absolutely.
So, it's like other guys will drink, and if you watch the guys that won, David Goldberg, and several others, none of them were drinking.
Right, of course, of course. What I do is I put a little apple juice in my cup, little apple juice, and this is a Dean Martin trick.
Yeah.
This is what I heard. Dean Martin, I read it somewhere, it's on the Wikipedia, it must be true. But Dean Martin, his image was as a drunk, lounge singer, party guy, right, the Rat Pack.
But he's drinking apple juice.
He had to do like 2 shows a night in Vegas. He didn't want to drink. I mean, who wants to? I mean, you ever drink like 5 scotches? It's the worst feeling in the world.
2 shows in a row. Like
Exactly.
Another one later.
The first 2 scotches, absolutely delicious. Scotches 3 through 5, you feel like you're about to die.
Right.
I love 1 scotch. 2, I'll do. 3, forget it. I want to kill myself. So what he would do is, reportedly, he'd put apple juice on the rocks, and he would sit there and go, I just want to say, I like to dedicate this song to all the ladies in the room. And he'd drink it, boom. Give me another one. I'd make it a double. And that was his whole shtick, was doing that. But
Totally
so
sober.
if you want to, what you do is it's a strategy.
Yeah.
You go to the waitress. You say, I'm going to order a scotch. I'm going to order a double. I want you to put apple juice in there. And I want you to bring me 4 in the next hour. Here's $25. I'm not saying I would do this as a strategy. But this would be a good strategy to use if you want people to think you're a little rocked. But that is what people do in Vegas. When you go to Vegas, some people act like they're drunk at the table, and then they're playing all loose cards, doing the opposite of what you do.
Yeah.
They play all these loose cards. Then they get the nuts, and then they pretend like, oh, whatever, that this much. Boom. It's another technique. So, and that was really what the World Series of Poker was even the sort of rudimentary poker your guy taught you, which is good fundamentals.
Right.
I mean, if you tighten the range of hands you play, you're going to limit your exposure to getting hurt, etc. Of course, the good players will look at that and say, he's playing tight, I'm not going to engage him.
Right.
And they won't give you any action. So you have an opposite problem. But you can do the opposite, which is play absurdly loose, get the nuts, and then on that one go full in. So there was a lot of that going on at the World Series of Poker, which was, the gamesmanship was awesome.
I was watching Heads Up the other day, and I can't remember the 2 guys' names, but just watching the genius going on underneath the conversations.
Yes.
You know, like they're ribbing each other, but they're reading each other the whole time. And you can tell those guys are brilliant. It was, what was Danny, what was the Asian guy, Danny Tan or something? And
Joey Tan?
The guy that always wins, that's so cool, like the nice guy.
Barry Greenstein?
No.
Eric Lindgren?
Younger
Ferguson?
guy.
Daniel Negreanu.
Those 2.
Yeah.
And it was phenomenal. Like they're acting like they're joking around, but they're just reading each other the entire time.
Absolutely. So now, since we're about 10 minutes in, it's a good time to thank the sponsors. We have great sponsors on the show, and it's obviously the duty of the people watching the show now to thank the sponsors on Twitter. So our first sponsor, of course, WebSpy, great company. Loren, at your company, you walk around the office sometimes, you see people on Facebook, you see them on Twitter, you see them reading the Huffington Post, Ariana Huffington, and you say to yourself as CEO, what the hell's going on here? Why is everybody screwing around at work? Everybody worries about that a little bit. Are people goofing off too much? But you got to let them do a little bit on their own. You're working them hard. What if you had a tool where they could monitor themselves and they could see, you know what, I'm spending too much time on Facebook. And your own employees would get a report back at the end of the day, not from you, just from their computer, like saying, hey, you spent 3 hours on Facebook this week, you spent 8 hours on MySpace, and they just got the feedback, like in a chart like that. That would be a pretty good piece of software, right? So they could sort of regulate their own time as a feedback loop. That's what WebSpy does. Everybody go to webspy.com/twist, TWiST. Everybody thank WebSpy on Twitter. They're at WebSpy. And I'm going to pick a person at random who thanks WebSpy and the other 2 sponsors, which we know are DNA Mail and Ustream. I'm going to pick right now to get this Bill Blass Full Tilt Poker shirt FedExed or UPS'd to you, along with a Mahalo pack. What's in a Mahalo pack?
Beach towel, coffee mug, the bag itself.
The bag itself.
Hat.
A hat, iPhone cover.
And an iPhone cover.
There you go. So you're going to get a Mahalo pack for thanking the sponsors, and you're going to get this Full Tilt shirt. This shirt's worth at least $150, maybe $200. It's a Bill Blass shirt. I mean, feel the quality on that.
Nice.
Pretty nice quality, right?
Yeah.
All right, Tyler. So Tyler, we got the Full Tilt shirt. We got the Mahalo pack. To whoever thanks the sponsors on Twitter, I will go check to see that in a minute. Of course, our second sponsor is DNA Mail, DNAmail.com. You host all your Exchange and everything, right, Loren? You don't have like a Exchange server and all that kind of stuff, do you?
No.
No. Why would you do that? Because that'd be crazy. Any startup knows you should outsource things like that are not a core competency. You don't want to have an IT staff running around managing servers, all that stuff. You outsource it, and if you're going to outsource it, you outsource it to the best people, which is DNA Mail, who have been a sponsor since day one.
God bless them.
I love them. I tell you right now, I honestly love DNA Mail. They sponsored the show before there was a show. Remember? They emailed 3 months before the show. They heard on my Twitter that I was going to do a show. They emailed and said, we want to be involved. We love your audience. And you know what? They're getting a great response from people. They're very happy. They re-upped for 20 shows. So all 3 sponsors, 20 shows. We're only 9 shows in. We're sold out of sponsorships. You can't sponsor This Week in Startups. If you wanted to sponsor This Week in Startups, the soonest we could take your money would be like November, October, November. Why? Because we have great sponsors already. And they're very supportive. And of course, Ustream. They sponsor the show. They're the ones who stream the show. You're all in the chat room right now. And there you have it. And wow, look at great feedback in the chat room. Yeah. And Skanky Ranks, great name. Tyler, tell Jason to reduce the intro chat to less than an hour. Okay, fine. We get the point. Too much time on the intro. I agree.
I didn't know WebSpy was one of your sponsors. Last company that I worked at, in an executive meeting, they announced that one of the guys was let go because 90% of his time he was spent watching adult content on the web.
Hello.
90%.
90.
Of his over like the last several months. So obviously he had a little addiction problem. But the best part was our head of sales, there was this dramatic pause. The head of sales looked up and goes, "What's the appropriate amount?"
Hello.
So.
I think the appropriate amount is less than 0%.
Yeah.
If you're at work, do not look at porn. Not a good idea for job security. Tyler, can you make sure we get WebSpy here? I want to try it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the results. Okay. I want set it up so only the employee can see their own results. Okay. Can you make sure that happens by the next show, 2 weeks from now? You talk to them? Okay, good. And here we go. And this is one of the great things about the show. People Twitter about the show the whole time.
Right.
So pull up on my screen the Twitter here. I'm going to pick somebody to get the Mahalo pack. We have somebody thanking them. Wow, look at that. But remember, when you thank them, you have to do at DNA Mail, at WebSpy, et cetera, like all these people are. So this is, Loren, one of my great innovations of podcasting. Not only do you get the sponsorship on the show, the people who are the fans of the show go out and do the sponsorship for you. They go and retweet it. How great is that?
Very cool.
DNA Mail, WebSpy, Ustream, and even Full Tilt, who sponsored me to be in the World's First Poker, they got people thanking them. Look at all those people thanking them. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to pick somebody right here. Who should we pick? Loren, you know what? You pick. You just look at this, you pick an icon you like, and we'll see if they thanked everybody properly.
C.
Which one?
SEA, one down. Scroll down.
Scroll down. SEA. Okay, there you go. Oh, wait, but he didn't put the at symbols in. You got to do the at symbols. Okay. This guy did. Huh? Oh, he did pound. You don't do pound. You do at. You have to. Oh, look at 4 more people just did it.
Chairman follow, I guess.
Let's see.
Up top.
Oh, there you go. Chairman follow. Okay, that's it from Tweety. Less than a minute ago. We're going to pick this one, and I should be able to zoom in on just his tweet. Let's see. Chairman follow. Whoever this guy is. Chairman follow. Congratulations. You win the Mahalo pack. You win the Full Tilt shirt, and congratulations. Now let's go to the segment everybody loves. This is the part of the show everybody loves. Ask Jason above the news program. Some people like the news better. Some people like Ask Jason better. There we go. We have a phone call coming in. Somebody needs help. There's a startup somewhere that needs our help, and here we go. On speakerphone. Okay, hello, this is Jason. Is this Nathan?
Yes, Jason. How's everything?
Things are great. Nathan, thank you for calling in on a Friday. I'm here with Loren Bendele, the CEO of Savings.com, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But you called because you need help with your startup. What is your question?
Yes. First of all, it's been a while since I spoke to you, Jason. I believe we met at the Startup 2009 conference.
That's correct.
Yes. My question to you and to Loren is I currently run a fashion website. I'm still a college student. I attend Rowan University in New Jersey.
Okay.
And my fashion website is myownrunway.com.
Yes.
And we are a digital media fashion website that offers full-length fashion shows from Paris, New York, and Milan Fashion Weeks, and soon Fashion Weeks from around the world.
Yep.
And all the content is right now free.
Right.
This is just the alpha. I want to move to beta, but I'm having a problem. I want to know what's the best way for me to raise funds for the beta phase, right now, last month, I done 20,000 visits and over 1 million hits without spending a penny on advertising. So that has been doing me really well. But my real question is how would I go about raising funds since I'm still a college student and this is my first startup? I don't have a successful one like you do.
Yeah, this is a great question. So essentially what you're saying is I'm a nobody. Nobody knows who I am. I know no VCs. I'm not plugged in. But I've got what I think is a winner. This is the question, essentially. So you got to figure out how to break in and get yourself some capital so that you can scale the business. That's correct, right?
Correct.
Okay. So there's a couple of different ways to go about this. The first is you have to network at events, and I know you've been going to events, and start to meet the VCs and talk to them. A great way to do that is to start a blog. Having a blog and a social media presence, blog, Facebook, Twitter, following Fred Wilson, who is a VC in New York, following Brad Feld, who is a famous VC in Colorado, following Bijan from Spark Capital, who's in Boston. You have to follow these guys. You have to follow their Twitter feeds. You got to follow their blogs. Esther Dyson. Then what you're going to do is you're going to post highly intelligent, non-promotional comments in their feeds. So you read their work and you post something intelligent. So then when you approach them, they have read 3 or 4 of your comments on their own blog. They may have even read your blog, which comments on theirs. And you are now a known quantity. Because that's what you need to be, is you need to be a little bit of a known quantity to them. So getting on their radar through events and social media presence is critical. The next piece of the puzzle is you actually have something that has to be worth investing in. That's a bigger challenge. And so that's the next piece of the puzzle is, why would they invest in this? Is this business going to be worth $100 million? Is it going to be worth $250 million? Is it worth $1 billion? That's what VCs want. They want to have an exit that's hundreds of millions of dollars. They want to make 1,000 times their money. The Google dream, the eBay dream. Your business, as currently constructed, is not that.
Yeah, and I also wouldn't limit it. I wouldn't limit it to just VCs as well.
Right.
You can find angel investors, friends and family, but as Jason said, before you do any of that, you got to get your story down. What are you today? What are you going to be? And what do the numbers look like? So can you add something into your site today that makes money?
Right.
Figure that out on a small scale, even if you've got 20,000 visitors, but you can prove some sort of revenue per visit.
Yes.
And they can do the math in their head and say, wait a second, if we were to blow this up to 20 million visitors, 10 million visitors, 1 million visitors a month, what would the numbers look like? And if you can model that out and tell a story that people will believe in, then when you start going to the networking events and you start following people, you've got something to say that's interesting and they want to help you. Once you get to that point, you have the story down. One of my favorite pitches was the real soft sell of finding people that you genuinely respect and say, hey, I genuinely respect you. I'd love to put my business model in front of you and just get your advice. Now you're not asking for anything from them. You don't need anything. It's real low pressure. And then you get their feedback and their advice, and if they really like it, they might invest.
This is great advice that you're getting from Loren. He knows what he's talking about. You have to have a story that's going to be compelling to them. VCs are probably not your target audience. Angel investors are. Somebody who can put in 50,000, 100,000, 200,000. Since you are young, people are going to be reluctant to give you millions of dollars to screw around with unless you had a product that had hit scale. So for example, Zuckerberg, 20 years old, and he's got 250,000 people logged into Facebook. Okay, maybe they'll be willing to give him some money because they see a $1 billion outcome. You've got the double problem of there is no $1 billion outcome for this business by design, and it doesn't have as much traction. So you're not to the point where you have the credibility to raise the venture. You might have the credibility to raise a $20,000 round from Y Combinator or from friends and family or from angels. That's probably your best bet. What can you do with this business that makes some money today? Can you sell the HD versions of your runway? Can you sell an edited version, which is just, here's this one model and a compilation of her work across these 20 shows, and you can charge on YouTube. You can sell things on YouTube now, right? There's a subscription thing. iTunes you can sell on.
You could do some affiliate things for sure.
You might be able to do some affiliate things.
Some of that high fashion stuff, there might be some good affiliate.
One,
you had there, like in terms of what you were saying was
Zappos, Bluefly.
Totally.
Exactly.
One suggestion that I've seen work in a few other analogous models, kind of popular on the web today, is see what someone's wearing and buy that outfit. So if you know ahead of time what they're wearing and you can piece it together with some links of places they can actually go buy it now, you'll have some percentage of your audience click on that link, go buy that dress, buy something that looks like it, and you get paid a commission for that sale. And now you've got some sort of revenue per visit numbers in place. You've got something that you can sell to investors. It's one idea.
Is that helpful, Nathan?
Yeah, it's very helpful. Actually, what Loren just was talking about is going to be part of the beta phase, where I want to incorporate that kind of technology. Plus, I already have a revenue model, part of the business plan in place. So if I actually already spoke to Fred Wilson, because I was at the Twitter conference in the beginning of June, and he was there with some other big people in the angel/venture capital people, and he said that what I'm looking for is, not his type, there are really my goal should be right now for angel investors, because he only takes on, the bigger type that have good traffic and somewhat of a revenue model that has already shown to be, really good. So right now, I have the whole entire beta phase basically all ready to roll, and I'm just waiting to find out different ways to actually raise that funds and actually prove everybody that yes, it can be done and the dream is there.
Right. Well, you're off to a good start. Keep at it, and keep us informed of how you do. And
persistence.
Persistence, very critical.
Don't forget, you're going to get a lot of no's. So every no you get is one closer to a yes. Keep telling yourself that. Yeah,
and iteration. Keep evolving the idea. You started with something. If you find there's some better model in this, don't be afraid to change the entire concept and go on to something different. Iterate, reiterate, change things. That's a big part of being an entrepreneur. But listen, you've done more than 99.9999% of your contemporaries. Most of those people are getting drunk at parties, at college, and doing stupid stuff and posting pictures of embarrassing pictures of themselves on the internet. You're actually building a business. You're 20 years old or whatever the hell you are. It's pretty darn cool, to be at that level and actually thinking about these things. So you're off to the races.
All right, well, thanks a lot. And Loren, best of luck on your website. I like how it's sort of like a dig type of thing with coupons and shopping, and it's really interesting. I love the concept.
Yeah, great, man. Thank you very much. We're relaunching in a week and a half, so check it out again in a couple of weeks as well.
Will do. Jason, we'll keep in touch, all right?
Okay, Nathan, hey, what are you doing September 14th and 15th?
Actually, I will be in New York for Fashion Week.
Oh, too bad, because I was going to invite you to the TechCrunch 50 show occurring September 14th and 15th in in San Francisco as my guest. But if you can't make it and you got to shoot fashion shoot, that's how it is. But if you do want to come...
Oh, no, it's not a fashion shoot. It's actually Fashion Week, where I have to go and attend the shows. That's where all my content, my key content, is from the Fashion Weeks, from the designers. So.
All right. Next time. We'll talk to you next time.
There's always a next time for everything.
That's right. Take care, Nathan.
All right, take it easy. Bye.
Bye. This is the kid who hustled his way into the VIP dinner.
That's dedication, by the way, that he's willing to turn down TT50.
I think that says a lot about him as an entrepreneur. He's like, yeah, thanks for the TechCrunch 50 ticket, but I got to do business. I'm busy. I can't be screwing around at some conference with Marissa Mayer and Mark Andreessen and Mark Cuban and all these famous venture capitalists and Ron Conway who invested in Google. I can't have these people. I'm busy. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, next caller is Pete Jimison. Jimison. And he is calling via Skype. And I think he's calling from Africa. Where is this guy calling from? I heard he's like in another country. Pete, where are you?
I'm in Africa.
You're in Africa.
I'm calling from Lugano, Switzerland.
From Switzerland?
Can you see me?
We can see you, yes. We see you perfectly, and now you're on the stream. So you're from Switzerland. What time is it there?
It's 11 o'clock at night.
Okay, and so it's 11 o'clock on a Friday night, and instead of being in Switzerland going out with all the beautiful girls in Switzerland, you're at home watching Ustream, watching This Week in Startups.
It sounds pathetic, but it's with the good intent. My wife's actually out right now. I told her to stay out for a little bit. She's probably going to stumble in the door like Dean Martin.
Okay, so you're breaking up a little bit, but tell us what your question is.
Okay, my question is this. Basically, I started a venture with my brother about 4 months ago, and he would basically be the tech guy, and I'd be the business guy. My brother graduated from Carnegie Mellon and then went on to do his PhD at Georgia Tech. So he's got a big tech background. And he was living in Brooklyn, working with IBEAM, the organization with arts and technology. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but basically he's been doing his own thing, working on all sorts of ventures himself. And I said, Dave, I've got my own idea, and I'd like to follow it up with you. I would pay you, a certain amount of money as long as you help me out and we can develop it together. And what it is a social media application that I haven't seen done on the internet yet, by any means. I mean, it deals with podcasting, and can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly. So
Okay.
You want to get your brother involved. What's the question?
No, my brother's involved, and I've been paying him. The question is, there's two questions. As a business guy, how should I prioritize? Because basically what we have right now is the alpha of the product, and start to build a community. And by the end of this month, we should have a full community of about 1,000 users using the product. We have it on a server in Germany right now. And so from my end, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, number one, how can I protect my idea? Should I be consulting with lawyers right now? Is it a big deal to go out and protect the idea with IP lawyers, or should I focus more on finding investors and other parts of the business?
Yeah, so I would say protecting the idea, the intellectual property stuff, if it's a web-based product, you're going to have a very hard time doing that, especially on an international basis. When Dig came out, everybody copied Dig. There's Plague in Germany. There's Digs in China, Japan, everywhere. There's no way to stop that. If you have a good idea, it's going to get copied like crazy. Facebook is a copy of MySpace, which is a copy of Friendster, which is a copy of a site called Rise. Everybody copies everybody. Everybody's inspired by everybody. Everybody evolves their ideas. So I would forget that idea of trying to, patent an idea, because it very rarely happens in the web. What happens in the web is momentum and scale and building a brand. So if you have 1,000 users, that's a good start. I think focusing in the early days on the product and listening to the customers is the most important thing. You have to figure out what it is that's going to make this product grow from 1,000 people using it every day to 10,000 people using it every day to 100,000 people using it 3 times a day, whatever it is. Without knowing your product, it's hard to tell. But it sounds like you're off to a good start. So I wouldn't worry about that. And I would worry about maybe getting some more users and a strategy for what the business becomes. What does the business look like in year 2, year 3, and year 4? What is the ultimate goal of the business? Is the goal of the business to have 1 million people on a Twitter-like service, or 100 million people playing Texas Hold'em poker like Zanga? What exactly is the end goal? Because then you can go to the investors, and there's plenty of them out there, and you'll have credibility. So you're off to a good start with 1,000. I would say with 1,000, you could actually start talking to angel investors. When you get to 10,000, 25,000 users on the product, you can start talking to actual venture capitalists, and they might be able to give you feedback. You heard with the previous caller some advice of sort of integrating yourself into the investors' blogs and getting on their radar and asking them for advice, not for their money, just to take a look at the business and can you help me? And you'd be surprised. Venture capitalists, angel investors, and other successful entrepreneurs are more than willing to meet with you, have a cup of coffee, and hear your story. It doesn't cost them anything, and they may find a good investment. So don't be afraid to ask people for coffee to give them some feedback. Loren, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree 100%. Even if you had a patentable idea, and I think it's probably worth a little bit of time to see if some of your ideas are patent worthy, but even if you did, it's about a 5-year cycle in software to get that patent actually through because of the backlog. So you're not going to get much protection from that. And as Jason said, on an international basis, you got no hope there. Yeah. So I always err on the side of being a little bit more open than paranoid, even when you're talking to investors. Yeah. It's really an execution game, and if you're a little bit down the road right now, you've got a business model, you've got some metrics in place, err on the side of being a little bit open. The last thing you want to do is, when you're talking with the VC, hold things close to the chest, and then you leave the meeting, and that guy might have invested in you if you would have been open with him. And I think you hear horror stories about VCs stealing your ideas, but I wouldn't put too much stock into that. The reputable ones aren't going to do that because that's going to ruin their reputation, and then they don't have entrepreneurs coming to them anymore. So
Yeah, I mean, just as an example, I talk to the guys at Sequoia all the time. They're on my board. They see every company. They see companies that could be competitive with Mahalo. They see them. They never tell me. They don't tell me they met with Jimmy Wales and Wikia. Not that it would matter since he shut it down. I mean, he gave up, right? Jimmy Wales fails. Is it with F or it's F or W, Tyler? Anyway.
You have to check Wikipedia.
Check Wikipedia. If somebody could go to Wikipedia right now and change Jimmy Wales' name to Fails, that would also get you a Mahalo pack. But yeah, I mean, they're very reputable, as Loren is saying. They're not going to give your idea to other people. And ideas are overrated. It's execution.
Yeah.
Our industry is based on execution. Ideas mean nothing. Execution means everything.
Is your goal right now to raise money?
Yeah, exactly right. My goal right now is to raise money. I'm just cautious because this is my first time doing it.
Yeah.
And so I just don't know exactly what to do. One thing I am following through with right now is a trademark just for a name on the product. But even then, maybe that's not even worth it. But I mean, it's not even that much money. It's, I've got a good friend who works for a law firm in DC, so.
Yeah, I think it's about getting people to believe in the dream right now. So, as we said with the previous caller, get your story down pat, and then find some numbers to back up your story. So numbers around the market, which everybody gets the market if it's a social network thing, they're going to understand that. But some numbers around your specific business model. How are you going to get subscribers? How are you going to get members? How are you going to make money off of it eventually? And then if you can prove that out in a small scale, and then tell a compelling story and convince them that you guys are the team to execute on it, you got a shot.
That's right.
Okay.
So what are you doing on September 14th and 15th?
I'll take Nathan's spot. That's what I'll be doing.
All right, so you get Nathan's spot. You're coming to TechCrunch 50. I'm going through the applications over the next 2 weeks. Some of the companies are killer. We've got like 4 or 5 companies already that are better than the companies last year. And last year you had great companies like Good Guide and Yammer and a bunch of other stuff. We've got companies that are better this year. Every year it gets a little better, right, Tyler?
True.
Incredible companies so far. I'm really psyched about TechCrunch 50. September 14th and 15th. All right, so let's get our next caller on the line. Is it Gabrielle Pasco? That would be a female, wouldn't it? Wow, that's a first. Gabrielle, congratulations on being the first female to call Ask Jason.
I was wondering about that. All right, I like that.
Congratulations. I see you're rocking the 323.
That's right.
Where is the 323?
I am pretty much right underneath the Hollywood sign.
Got it.
323 is the city of Los Angeles.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
Very cool.
kind of shaped like a donut. 213 is in the middle, and 323 goes all the way around the outside.
Got it. Perfect. Okay, so you're calling from Los Angeles. What is your question?
This is Gabrielle from Little Bird, by the way. You might read
Oh, my God.
Little Bird. Yes, hello.
Wow. And so it's an interesting story. Gabrielle, who's on the phone, I did a conference in New York City in 1996 or 97 called Ready, Set, Pitch. Then we did Silicon Alley 98, I think, the next year. We had 10 people pitch their companies, and you were one of them.
Yep.
And you did littlebird.com.
Yes, and in fact, if they had put me on webcam, I tried to get your man to put me on webcam. I would hold up a copy of Silicon Alley Reporter, which I just unearthed in my office.
Yes. Okay. Well, this is great. We haven't seen each other in a little while, but what are you up to, and what is your question?
Well, I'm starting another venture. This is actually number 3 that I'm trying to get off the ground, and I'm not really ready to talk about the venture itself, but I do have a question about. I'm writing a business plan, and I'm kind of curious. I'm at the part where I'm laying out salaries, and I'm curious what your opinion is about what like a VC or an angel would find to be an acceptable salary for the CEO of a company.
This is a great question, and you have to be very careful with the salary of a CEO, because some VCs have very peculiar beliefs about this. I believe it was Peter Thiel who said, like, the big red flag for him was CEOs who want to get paid a lot of money. Big red flag. Some CEOs who have had many successful ventures, they don't even take a salary at their companies. They just, they're in it for the equity. However, no VC is ever going to want the CEO to be suffering.
Have to moonlight.
And have to moonlight or be worried about their bills, or have a spouse who is saying, oh my God, you could be making this amount of money working for AOL as a senior vice president as opposed to doing your startup company. Not that I have any experience in that. No, I mean, I'm fine. But so I think the range of salaries for a CEO at a startup company, anywhere from 100 to as high as maybe 350 would be the highest, 300 would be the highest. Now, that would depend on how backed the company is. For an angel investment in a small company, they may expect the CEO to just take a small stipend, in the first year. When you get the venture rounds, maybe they'd be like, yeah, they're fine with 150. Maybe if there was a huge venture round, 20, 30, 40 million dollars, and it's Juiced or some big company like that, or YouTube, they don't mind, or Zuckerberg or whatever, they don't mind them making $250,000 or $350,000 because they want them to not be thinking about their bills every month. So it's a range, and it really depends. And that's a conversation you could have with the VC. You could say, listen, these are my bills every month. This is what I need to hit those bills, and this is what I need to be extra comfortable not looking out the window. So it really depends. And some VCs are hiring CEOs to come into a startup they already have. That's a different type of situation than the startup CEO. The startup CEO, they usually don't take a huge salary. When they're recruiting a CEO, comp may be part of the draw as well as the stock option. So since it's your company and it's a startup, they may expect you and an angel investment to take something modest. And they would look at your previous salary.
Yeah, that's going to be my point is if they look at your previous salaries and they see that this is a huge step up for you, I think that'd be a big red flag.
Yeah.
But if you're being honest with them and saying, look, this is what I was making, this is my cost structure right now, this is what I need to cover my bills and be able to focus on the business and not worry about day to day, then I think you're probably fine.
Yeah.
And then I have kind of a second part to the question. When you do start to engage with like angels or VCs, like what's generally the turnaround time once you sort of submit your plan to them to actually get the cash in a bank account?
That really depends.
Or does it just vary too much?
That's going to vary wildly based on the economic climate, your network and your track record, and the idea itself. To give you some perspective, when I did the angel investment for Weblogs Inc., I emailed someone like Mark Cuban, hey, we're raising a small round of a couple $100,000. He emailed me back in 5 minutes, and with 2 words, I'm in. That's Mark Cuban. He's a certain type of angel investor. He bases things, I think, largely on, and if
he knew you.
He knew me, the loyalty for the person, and an affinity for the space, blogging, which he was into. So I think angel investors, a lot of times, they will give you an offer on the spot while you're having coffee with them. Very common in San Francisco for you to be on the spot, showing them something, and them saying, I'll put $50,000 in at this valuation, or giving you a term sheet within a couple weeks in a hyper-competitive market. Now it's a little slower. I think it might take 3 or 4 meetings for you to get there, would be my estimate. I don't know. What do you think, Loren?
Yeah, I think it varies tremendously. When we first went out, it took us about 6 months to get to the point where we thought we had an offer for sure, and we were told through an insider that the offer was coming, and then the last second it just dissolved. So we were fortunate to be in a position where we had cash flow, and we were actually cash flow positive. So we just said, you know what, I'm going to put my head down, I'm going to bootstrap this company, I'm not even going to raise money. The next quarter, we killed it, and we beat the projections that we showed them before. They heard about it, came back, and then the deal closed very quickly. Yeah. So, I think it varies tremendously. I've heard of people getting funding from VCs, 1 pitch in, 2 months. I think normally a good word to live by or a phrase to live by is it's going to take longer than you think. And I think in this economy, double that. So be prepared to bootstrap a little longer than you think you need to, and be prepared to keep proving your model and keep proving the numbers without any money so that you don't really need the money. And then it's probably more likely to come.
Yeah, if they have the feeling that you're going to be doing this no matter what, and that you're going to just keep fighting and you're going to really kill it, then there's some sort of inevitability that this will be successful. They'll be drawn to it.
Yeah.
I'm guessing 3 or 4 months. We had Brian Alvey on the first episode, and Brian was my partner on Weblogs Inc. He didn't really know anybody in the VC community. I hooked him up with a lot of people, did personal introductions for him, which I don't really do for a lot of people, but I did it for him because he was my partner and had a really good idea. He met with at least 25 people to get his 2 investors. That's, like basically 1 out of 12. And I think that's somebody who has got a good track record. Don't be surprised if it takes 20 meetings to get 5 people interested to close 1 or 2 people. I think that's pretty much the math, which means if you only meet with 5 or 10 people, your chances of getting it done are 1 in 5. It really is a numbers game, just like any other sales type thing. You're going to need to meet with a lot of people and be very persistent. And the people that get the investment are the most persistent and the most resilient. It is a very hard thing to do to raise capital at this environment, but not impossible. And you have to be persistent. And showing demonstrable growth during the investment process is critical. So if they see, oh, when we met with them, with Gabrielle 3 months ago, she was had 10% of the project done. Now she's got 25% done. Wow, she's moving so quickly, and she's already got a CTO, and she found a great salesperson. They start to get warmed up to it. So, definitely be having that demonstrable growth through the phases of fundraising, and always be raising capital. Even for Mahalo, I meet, I would say, every month with 5, on average. Tyler, we meet with 5 investor strategic partners per month on average. 5, 50 meetings a year, would you say?
Pretty
conservative.
consistently.
Consistently.
Conservative.
Tyler and I have been working together for over 2 years. Tyler does a strategy here and corporate development. Anytime we go to a city, Sydney, London, Japan, Korea, wherever we go, we meet all the strategic investors, we meet all the VCs, and we just say, hey, here's what we're doing, what's up with your world, and we'll always be closing, ABC, always be closing. Yeah,
another advantage of that is when you get to the point where you actually do have a term sheet or you have serious interest, if you have 2 or 3 people interested, it goes much quicker and you get better terms. So
create a marketplace.
Yeah, you want to make it look like this train's moving, they can get on or they can miss it completely.
Yeah. And in the early stages, angel investors in the first round, VCs call it, one VC called it, and I've heard others, is they want the juicy white meat. They want to be the first person to the turkey. They want to be the first person to the chicken. They want the low valuation. They want to get a nice 20, 30, 40% slice of that pie so that when you raise subsequent rounds, they've already got 30% of the company for $1 million or $3 million or 500,000, whatever they got, so that the next guy who comes along and wants to get 5% has to pay $5 million or $2 million or $1 million to get a smaller piece of the pie. So you have so many companies, whether it's First Round Capital, Sequoia even, Y Combinator, Mark Andreessen and his new fund. So many people want to get that first slice of the pie. Ron Conway. That's why there's so many angel investing groups. That's why VCs are doing so many $250,000, $500,000 rounds. They want the juicy white meat, and you got to work that a little bit into your plans. That you're going to get on your first deal, it's going to feel like maybe you got screwed a little bit. On the second deal, you get something more reasonable, and on the third deal for your company, maybe you are the one getting the advantage over the investor.
Great.
Awesome. Well, it's great to hear from you, and do let me know if I can help in any way.
Thank
how to get in touch with me. This is great hearing from you.
Nice talking to you.
We'll talk soon. Cheers. Well, that was great. Gabrielle calling in from the Silicon Alley reporter days. Some people know I did that magazine, other people don't. But very interesting. So we have a great guest this week. I always promise you interesting guests. Loren Bendele is somebody I met here in Los Angeles. He is the CEO of Savings.com, which is a tremendous business here. Not many people know about it, frankly. I didn't know about it. I met him. I said, this guy's smart. This guy's doing things I don't understand in search, buying search traffic. I don't understand any of this stuff. And so I said, I should be friends with this guy. I should learn from him. And it's very rare that I find somebody, frankly, in the space who's got something to teach me because I've done so many different things. I guess that's a little maniacal.
That doesn't really come off.
That didn't come out the right way. I'll tell you what it is. I've been around so long as a journalist that I have had exposure to everything. But your business is a very unique business, and I didn't know anything about it. You've been so great teaching me about these different things that I thought you should be on the program to teach our audience about search engine marketing and all these coupons and affiliate stuff. I know nothing about it, so please join me in welcoming Loren Bendele, CEO of Savings.com, to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Golf clap from Tyler. There you go. We need to get like a little canned clapping. And is Alex actually working the TriCaster now? We have definitely a definitive person switching on the TriCaster so we get the good shots. So welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Tell us, what is Savings.com?
Sure. Simplest way to describe it, I guess, is coupons, deals, and promotions, and then it's a popularity contest of them. So you can go to Savings.com if you want to buy something from a particular merchant, see all of their deals ranked by popularity. Or if you don't know which merchant you want to buy from, but you know what category you want to buy a laptop, you can go search laptops, excuse me, and see all of our laptop deals ranked by popularity. So the consumers like it because it's not necessarily us showing the deal that makes us the most money. The deal that sits number one could be a deal that we don't get any money from whatsoever. But long term, we develop a relationship with the consumer. They trust it. They come back and use it. And we make money off a lot of the deals that are on the site. And we make money through affiliate relationships, CPC, or usually performance-based relationships with the merchants. If we're driving sales for them, we get paid commissions.
Right, and so here it is. I have it on my screen, and by looking at it, I'm thinking this is Dig for coupons or Dig for deals.
It was absolutely an inspiration for the company. It was before my time when the original vision was brought about. I was brought on as the CEO January 1, 2007. And we restarted the company shortly thereafter with this vision and this strategy, and grew it from a few hundred visitors a month or whatever to over 1 million now.
Wow, significant.
And yeah, we grew 400% last year. We're on track to grow 400% this year. We were profitable as of the end of September 2007,
right.
but just barely. And since then, I've pretty much been putting every single dollar we've made back into the company, and we've grown it from a handful of people to close to 50 now.
And so the company's been in existence now for, this is year 3, I guess? Just over 2.
Just over 2.
Just over 2. Yeah. And has it raised venture capital, or?
We raised money September last year, USVP, $4 million.
U.S. Venture Partners. Mm-hmm. This is a very good firm.
They're a great firm.
Top 10 firm.
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
They've done a lot of big companies. And so...
We've got great partners, too. They're very supportive and... great guys to work with.
Good focus. And so here I see, so the users can vote stuff up, and then they can also comment on it. So here we have the 10% discount on order of 50 or more, Old Navy. Oh. So now, and they're commenting on, I signed up and I got code, worked great, blah, 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 blah. This reminds me very much of Dig, where people are, submitting stuff, voting it up, voting it down. You even use the berry thing. How do you get the $10 off Old Navy? Is that just like anybody can go find that deal? Did a user give you that deal? Because I see it's by Coupon Mama here. Is that one of your employees, or do you go negotiate this with Old Navy?
All the above. All the above. So some of the deals come from aggregators that find a bunch of deals. Some of the deals come from our community. Some of the deals come from merchants themselves. They'll submit deals to the site. Mm-hmm. Some of the deals come from the users, some from affiliate networks. Yeah. So all over the board. We built the system so it could take the deals from any channel. Got it.
And so people are voting them up and down. Yep. And does that mean you find these deals that other people might not find? So how much of it is crowdsourced versus you guys finding it, do you think?
Currently, let's see, we get about 200, 300 deals a month submitted by the users, right? But we're not really promoting it on the site. So if you look at the site, you don't really see how to do it. It's not aggressively promoted. Right. It requires you to log in as a member. We're relaunching the site in 2 weeks and really focusing on that community element to get more deals. 200, 300 a month is not so bad, but I believe we can do 200 to 300 a day from the crowd. But what's probably more important, because we go to our merchants, and for several merchants, I'm driving $3 or $4 million a month in sales. Wow! So our top merchants, so I can go to them and say, "Hey, come on, we need a better deal than that." So we get exclusive deals from our top merchants, and then we put those on our site. And then what's interesting, I think at least, what's most interesting about the site is the community votes on the deals. So they find out what's most popular. Yes, some of them source them, but where it comes from is not as important to me. What's most important to me is the popularity.
Right. So do people actually like these, and do they want to engage these? So in a way, even if the audience doesn't submit them, they're filtering them, and they're the ones saying it. So you get to give the feedback to the merchants and say, hey, by the way, you thought $5 off was a great deal on a purchase of 100. It got voted down. People like the Old Navy because it's got a lower benchmark of 50, so you sort of get to educate the merchants.
You're exactly right. And one of the top electronics manufacturers in the world told me that we taught them how to do couponing, because they go to their page, they see all their deals voted by popularity, and they say, oh, $30 off 150 works better than 20% off, and it's better for us. I'm going to use that on all of my offline publications as well. So magazines, whatever.
So the idea of $30 for free is better than 20% off.
For that particular merchant, it differs. Got it. Some merchants, cash off works better. Some merchants, flowers, 20% off works better than $10 off, orders of whatever.
And so anybody can really start to get involved with this, website owners, bloggers, etc. This is the category called affiliate marketing. It's the category of bounties. So how do you get paid? Do you get paid on click, or do you get paid on somebody actually using the coupon?
Sure. There are all kinds of monetization mechanisms. We primarily leverage the affiliate right now. So we only get paid if we're driving the sale for that merchant. But we have several merchants that are on a CPC basis. But bottom line, I always want to structure it where we're only getting paid if we're driving performance for them. So there's no risk to them. You know, in this market right now, a lot of advertisers are reeling in their advertising budget. So if you're on CPM, that's a problem for a lot of people. We're all performance, so the merchants, not only do they want to continue, they want to do more. So
so it's actually counterintuitive. In a down market,
absolutely,
customers obviously want discounts. So you've got to be benefiting from the economic downturn.
We are lucky right now.
Lucky. It's also smart. You picked the right thing. People like to save money.
We also got lucky.
Okay.
You know, just the fact that
I think
the
this is the
economy
only
took the
person who said
downturn.
they got lucky because of the downturn.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, because we're getting it. What I've said is, I believe that for maybe the last time in my life, we've got the perfect storm going on here, where so many things have happened at the same time. Consumers are looking more for deals than they've ever looked before in the past. Also, for whatever reason, online couponing took a long time to migrate to online.
Yeah.
It was always grandmas clipping coupons, you know, for groceries or whatever.
Right, it's got a little bit of a stigma to it,
Totally.
like you're cheap.
Totally. And then third, what's happening in the economy right now is making everybody look for deals. And USA Today a couple weeks ago said that the younger generation now is being trained to look for deals and values, and that will continue for the rest of their lives. It's just how they're going to be. It's always about, you know, value is the new black, I think was the title of the article.
I think its value goes across all socioeconomic status. Because I've seen people, it's a funny story, I was on JetBlue years ago during the last recession, and I saw somebody on JetBlue who had a private jet. And they were
Flying JetBlue.
Flying JetBlue.
Yeah.
And I came up and said hello to them, and they were almost like mortified that they were on. And the first thing they said to me is, "Don't you love JetBlue? Isn't it awesome with the TVs?" And only $199 round trip to New York. It's incredible. And I was like, value is the new sort of cool thing.
It's cool.
It's cool to save money. And also Target is sort of train people
Target's
that
another great one.
You can get incredible design for a great price. Virgin, America, JetBlue. Even cars, people are like, what is the Honda that everybody's getting in LA that gets 50 miles a gallon or something crazy? It's not a hybrid. Fit. It's the Honda Fit. I don't know. I see all these people who, you know, like young people getting these cars. Like, it's like almost cool to save money.
Totally, and that's been our positioning. We want to be for the smart, savvy shopper. It's not for grandma clipping coupons, you know, and it's, you know, the other piece of that perfect storm is the merchants really need sales right now too. So they're discounting
so they're
more,
willing to play
more
ball.
deals. Even merchants that before said, no, we don't do coupons. Our brand is too aspirational.
I'm looking here. You have, pull up my screen, please. I have Apple 8% off if you're a student or teacher, and I know my wife is taking courses at UCLA Extension. We can get 8% off my iPhone or some of this stuff. It's incredible. I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't know my wife, before she buys anything online, she does a search for coupons. And she goes to your site, and she does a search on Google. She searches eBay, because people are selling coupons on eBay, I guess, and deal codes. I mean, this is becoming a mainstream thing. And there's a bunch of contemporaries, Fat Wallet and some of these other people, I guess.
Yeah, there have been a lot of people in this space for a long time, and that have proven that there is a niche of people who want to do this. Some of the early players, I think, made it for a younger crowd, so it was more of a blog or a forum. It took a while to find the actual deal. You had to read 50
posts. It was like
posts.
Coupon Cabin or Fat Wallet were the sort of
Fat Wallet
originals.
was one that was like that, and they do a good, strong service, but what we wanted to do is take all that community content, user-generated content, and put it behind the scenes. So if you want to dig into that, if you want to read the comments, you can, but if you just want to see the benefit of it, just show me the most popular deal. I want to click on it. I want to get something. I want to get out. That's pretty much how we designed it. So it's more for everybody, but if you want to engage, you want to submit coupons, you want to become the most popular deal pro on our site, you can.
So now you get SEO to the site, but you also buy traffic, and you send traffic to the site, and then a certain percentage converts. So this is called arbitrage or SEM in the industry, search engine marketing.
Search engine marketing, arbitrage, paid search.
Paid search. So as opposed to, so people in the audience who maybe aren't familiar with it, everybody focuses on SEO because that's essentially free.
Right.
Even though they're paying an SEO
and we
consultant.
focus on SEO quite a bit too. I mean,
So
you go to Google and you type in Gap coupons, we're number one, usually.
We'll find out right now.
You gonna test me?
No, it's fine.
And then, or Apple coupons, I think we're #1 as well.
Yeah,
so,
look at that. You're #2 for Gap coupons. Well, Google changes deal to deal.
Totally. So for many major coupon-related terms, we'll be 1, 2, 3 in the results on SEO. But we also do paid search. I think the stats that I've read say 70% of people prefer the natural listings, 30% prefer the paid search listings. So you need to be in both. So we built a technology platform that notices the popularity of deals and effective deals. It sees when we have good deals in the system, and it will launch campaigns with keywords associated with those deals.
Got it.
And then ROI optimize as time goes by. And if the #1 deal expires, it will predict how it's going to do and say, wait, we need to lower the bid because your best deal just expired for that set of keywords.
So this is incredibly computational, like arbitrage. You have to figure out what you're paying for each
It's really
click,
hard to do. It's really
and then you
hard
have
to
to
do.
run it against your site and then know what you made. I mean, how many
manage
keywords
the
do you
expiring coupons at the same time.
How without getting too much into the digital business, how many visitors a month are you buying? Is it tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people? How many clicks do you buy every month?
Hundreds of thousands of people.
So you send hundreds of thousands of people to your site. It's got to cost 10, 20 cents a click or something like that. And then you have to hope a certain percentage of them convert.
Exactly.
So you're buying it at $100 per thousand or $200 per thousand. You got to hope to make $100, $200 per thousand that come. And what is the margin there? Does it are you happy to get 2%, or is it like you double your money? I mean, how close is it?
It's really difficult to do.
Yeah.
A lot of people have tried, and most of our competitors that I see try to do it aggressively stop shortly thereafter because they can't make it make sense on paper. We make it make sense on paper. The exact margins we don't necessarily publicize, but we make it make sense.
Right. Well, I mean, even if it was a 1% margin, if you can put $1 million to work buying and you sell 1,100,000,
right.
now you've made over $1 million a year just from that.
Right.
Is that right? No, that's 10%. Whatever it is, I mean, it's amazing to be able to get any kind of a return doing that.
And it's also, it's marketing for the site too. It's having people come to our site. People signing up to be members. Every month, more than 20% of our visitors are repeat visitors, so we're giving them a good experience, getting them to come back.
Yeah.
So, you pay a little money up front sometimes to get them to come, but then they come back.
So you can actually take that into account when you're buying traffic. You'd say, you know what?
We currently don't, but we could.
You could say, hey, you know what? 10% of this money is going to come back in people coming to the site a second time, or 1% is, or we're going to convert this many people to customers, et cetera.
We're at a different phase of the company. Before we raised money, we were profitable, but we had very little money in the bank.
Right.
So it was all about cash and all about conversion.
Right.
Now it's about, okay, what was the lifetime value of that member?
Building
how
a brand.
How do I build this as big as I can possibly build it? So we're relaunching the website in a couple of weeks and focusing more on lifetime value. We'll be taking that into account when we're doing our marketing and say, okay, what percentage of our traffic signs up to become members? What's that lifetime value worth? What's the conversion worth? What would it cost me? Do more, do less, optimize from there.
It's a compelling type site. I could see people going to it on a regular basis. Are you using the social networks to somehow participate in this? Are people Twittering stuff? Are you Twittering to people? Are you Facebooking? What's a social media strategy? Is there one? Yeah,
for sure. What we believe we can do, I always look at it. I've got a buddy, Giovanni Baroni. He's one of my best friends. And if I'm going to buy anything, electronics, computers, whatever, I call Giovanni. He tells me where to go, what to get, what I'm going to spend on it, and how to get the best price. So I'm going to find 200 people like that. And we're finding them now, and we're surfacing these guys, and we're calling them our deal pros. So we're using them and to use their social network as well. And we're also giving them visibility on our site. This is what the relaunch is about. So you could come to any category and see our top deal pros and follow them. You could ask them questions. You can see their best deals. You can say, look, this guy gets the best deals on any computers. I'm nuts about computers. I want to see whenever he finds a great computer deal and gives us a top deal. And you'll receive that via
what does he
email.
get out of it besides being the top one? Does he get a piece of the action?
No.
He just gets to be the top guy. He gets a link back to his
guy.
site.
Yeah.
And that's pretty powerful for people to be the top deal guy.
I think it is.
Just like it's powerful to be the top dig guy.
Yeah. And we had a lot of conversation about this in the early days. And what's more powerful for building a brand, a financial contract or a social contract?
Right.
And we opted for the social contract. we'd already made the decision, but I had coffee with Jeremy, the CEO of Yelp, and he said the fastest way to ruin a community is to pay them. Because now you're incentivizing people to do it. They're going to do it for the money. They don't really care.
Right.
So your content is going to suffer, and everyone else sees it and smells it, and you start going downhill.
Right. Interesting.
I can't remember which book I read, if it was Blink or Freakonomics, but they talked about the financial contract versus the social contract.
Right.
And they said that teachers had a big problem in junior highs where the parents would come late to pick up their kids.
Right.
And every day on average they were about 15 minutes late.
Freakonomics, yeah.
Yeah.
So they put a penalty in of like $5, and more people were late because they're like, $5, good deal.
Yeah, and they didn't have to feel bad about it anymore.
Yeah.
It was the guilty. So it's like, oh no, it's $5. Yeah, there you go. Okay, thanks. Thanks for the $5 babysitting for an hour.
Yeah.
And then when they took the financial contract away and said, let's go back to the other thing, it never changed. It stayed at an hour because they were like, you broke the social contract.
But in addition to that, there is evidence of people being very interested in saving deals and saving money, which is a social contract for saving money. And there are people who are addicted to virtual currencies.
And to connect with that type of a person.
Right.
Deal fanatics. You know,
Right.
thank God my fiance is one of those. You know, she loves getting a great deal on anything that she can buy.
Yeah.
Value.
Yeah.
She loves the value. So if you can connect those people, they want to talk about their great deal. Look at the great deal I found. They send it out on Twitter to
Sure.
everybody.
I mean, everybody likes to brag. They got some great deal, or they want some great hand of poker. Or, you know, anytime you make money and don't lose money, people want to talk about it. It's like a big highlight for people.
So we've got those people, those deal pros, and they've all got their own Twitter accounts. And a lot of these people have thousands of people following them now to see the best deal on wine, see the best deal on apparel. So we're surfacing these deal pros and using the platform to give those guys a little bit more fame, I guess, on our site, recognition. So that's going to be the relaunch, focusing more on those elements. We believed it would happen with this site. We saw it happening, so now we're going to just try and build on it.
Okay, so this is the part of the program where people get to ask questions. If we use your question, we'll send you a Mahalo pack, and you'll come to TechCrunch 50 on September 14th and 15th. That's a pretty good deal. If you want to ask a question, you know how to do it. You go on Twitter, you put #TWiST at the end, at the beginning. Maybe put the URL of the show. Maybe put a bit.ly URL of the show so you don't have to use up all your space in your 140 characters for thisweekinstartups.com, which is way too long. So, somebody just tweeted, please read your tweets. So here I am. I'm reading the tweets. Let's see. Somebody's browser is crashing because of something. Yes, we're doing customer support. Somebody just edited Jimmy Wales. Oh, he put a twit pic of it. Very nice. Everybody's editing Jimmy Wales' Wikipedia page. Yeah, can somebody put a section in there about Jimmy Wales failures? That would be great. Like a section on his Wikipedia page, Jimmy Wales failures, and just put all the Jimmy Wales failures. Like, anyway, we wish all entrepreneurs great success, and we revel in our failures because you learn from your failures. At some point, Jimmy Wales will learn from all his failure. That's what we hope. Anyway, we like busting his chops. Let's see. Somebody asked a question here. Where is it? About somebody thinks it's hilarious how we diss Jimmy Wales. That's funny. Somebody actually just asked a question about the TechCrunch putting out the documents about Twitter. Where is that? What do you think of that? Have you been following that? The stolen documents? You haven't been following it?
No.
Interesting stuff.
What happened? High level?
High level, hacker hacked Evan Williams' assistant's computer, got 300 documents or 310 documents off of Google Docs. Those documents included notes from meetings with Google or Microsoft, staff meeting notes, talking about P. Diddy and saying P. Diddy values his contribution to Twitter more than maybe we do, and some stuff that maybe they wouldn't want out. Mike Arrington printed some of it, didn't print most of it. People are saying he shouldn't have.
I did hear about that.
Yes. And the bottom line with this, I'll just leave it at this. Number one, it sucks that people stole those documents. The person who stole them should absolutely be prosecuted for stealing. And if you do get prosecuted for it, you can go to jail, and you probably will go to jail. Don't hack into people's computers. Don't steal their documents, number one. Number two, should TechCrunch post these documents? If any other publication, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, anybody got these documents, they would publish some part of them and do the story. It is very newsworthy. It's a very newsworthy company. Now, Mike Arrington is friends with Evan Williams. Evan Williams speaks at TechCrunch 50 every year. Chris Sacca does. We're all sort of friendly in the same circle, so it makes it very personal. However, if this was Steve Jobs' assistant's computer or Steve Jobs' computer, and this was the new iPhone design or the tablet thing, we would be rejoicing that it was leaked and stolen. And Engadget and Gizmodo, they post stolen, tipped stuff, leaked stuff all the time. It is part of business. It is part of having a free press that they can report on even stolen stuff. It does suck, but it's better to have a free press than that. I don't know. What do you think of that?
I agree.
So if they steal all this stuff from savings.com, all your personal notes of your meetings with Amazon, you're cool with it?
I would be completely upset, but I would understand that they're just, doing their job.
Here's a good one. Twititerate, and you have to answer it honestly, how much did you pay for savings.com? Because that is a great domain name.
It was bought before my time, and it was bought for a hefty price, $2 million. But the terms were actually really good. So it was like a payment plan that we actually haven't finished paying yet. So as an early business, when cash is expensive, you didn't have to pay anything. And if the business is successful, as it appears to be, then you don't care at the end. So it was, the terms were really favorable. The dollar amount at first, you're like, what? Are you kidding me? But with the terms, when cost of capital is expensive and you're just starting, and having that kind of name in the early days helped a lot.
I think the domain name is extraordinary. It's got to be helping when people do searches and whatnot, branding.
We did some other testing in the early days to decide if we really wanted to keep savings.com. And we had Coupon Desperados and this little Yosemite Sam looking guy, and the conversion with the exact same look and feel, just a different name, was materially less with Coupon Desperados than with savings.com. So I think any coupon-related site where you have to click on something, a lot of people are a little nervous about them in general. Is this a reputable company? Do I trust this? Am I going to get spammed or whatever? So by having a more reputable name in the early days,
it does help.
And then providing a good service long-term, I think it helps.
$2 million is not that big a deal for a company of this level.
Absolutely.
If the company winds up being worth hundreds of millions of dollars, the $2 million could look like a rounding error. And it's like real estate. I mean, even if the company were to tank and you own that domain name, there's somebody else who'll buy it for $2 million.
I get an email, I get several emails a month of somebody wanting to buy it, so yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, I get emails on a regular basis of people offering to buy Mahalo.com.
Yeah, it's a great one.
And I say, not for selling any price, and they say, how about $8,000? And then I write back, how about $80 million? And then they laugh. Or actually, I get it for $20.com. I own 20.com, which is one of the few two-character domain names. I bought it for $75,000. It was going to be the original name of Mahalo. And I get offers. I had an offer for $400,000 for it, and I didn't take it. I was like, they're not making any more two-letter domains. I should do something with it at some point. Anyway, so anyway, that's very good. Can we make sure that we know who asked that question and make sure he gets a ticket or she gets a ticket? Twititerate.
Are you sending them something either? Via
We're going to send them a. Oh, well, we'll have to
send them a savings.com mug as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're going to put a savings.com mug in the Mahalo pack. Yes, send over a dozen of those. And here's an interesting question from fake Yossi Vardy, who is asking, when will you have me on the show? Yossi, we'd love to have you on the show anytime. You know that. Even fake Yossi Vardy, we'd take it. He was the original investor in ICQ and countless other things. Somebody wants to know how to get in touch with Mark Andreessen's new VC firm. I think he's got a website. He's got emails publicly available. You can figure that out yourself. Interesting one. What do you think is the value of startups focusing on cool and new buzz-filled technologies like Twitter or iPhone applications, I guess, versus the core business? So as a CEO, you've got this great core business, paid search, coupons, affiliate. This is all 10-plus-year-old technology. It makes money. And then you've got a board of directors and other people and yourself and your wife and blah-da-da saying, oh, you got to do an iPhone application. You got to do Twitter integration. How do you prioritize that stuff? Is it 80-20? Is it 10-90? What do you do there?
I think it's a great question. And I think everything that you do needs to be, it sounds kind of geeky or whatever, but risk-adjusted analysis. So lay out your opportunities and say how big of an opportunity you think each one is. So if you've got one opportunity that you think is $1 billion opportunity if it works, but it has a 5% chance of working, that opportunity is worth $50 million. If you've got another opportunity that's got $100 million worth if it really works, and it's 90% going to work, that idea is kind of worth $90 million. So focus there. Don't focus on the other one. So you need to do that with all of your opportunities. And that's kind of the big, broad question. So when I start thinking about an iPhone application, it's a little bit of a hit-based environment. If you want to have the next iPhone application about coupons, deals, and discounts, are you going to get lucky? Are you going to strike lightning? Are you going to have the one that takes off? Maybe, but do you want to spend all your resources on that, or do you want to do something that you know is going to deliver cash and money? So I absolutely think we should do it, but it's just a prioritization queue. When do you get to it? And that one is prioritized below just having a web-friendly, a mobile-friendly website.
Right.
So I think it just depends on how you do it. So yes, we're using Twitter. Am I banking my entire company on it? No. Yes, we're building Facebook applications as well, but currently right now it's lower on the priority list than other things.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing. Like, people made all these Facebook applications. Nobody uses them.
Right.
So like 2 years ago, I got to have a Facebook application. They spent $250,000 building Facebook applications. Nobody goes and uses them.
Right.
And then everybody this year, I got to make an iPhone application. It's the most important thing possible. Got to have Twitter integration. Very few of them actually make it. Maybe iPhone does.
People get excited about shiny objects, and I think as a prudent
Robert
CEO,
Scoble impact.
Yeah, I think as a prudent CEO, you have to really say, okay, but what's the likelihood of success with this, and how does it compare to my other opportunities? And that's a very powerful tool for me for prioritizing what we're working on. Is what's the value of each one, and what's my likelihood of success, and then multiply those two together. Look at all of them, and then do the one that's, I'm not saying I go with that 100%, but it's a good gut check. It's a good, roughly where do I want to focus my energy?
Summarize it. What is the impact of it?
If it's successful.
If it's successful.
What you think it'll be.
Yeah. So I'm doing the iPhone application, and it's going to make $1 million a year. Mm-hmm. And then the chances of success.
Right.
So 50% chance that we'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
$500,000 opportunity.
Right.
I'm going to make a podcast, a 24-hour show about savings and QVC online. If it works, I make $10 million a year, and there's a 30% chance of success. It's a $3 million opportunity, or something like that.
Exactly.
You know what this is? This actually is in poker.
Pot odds and everything else.
It's pot odds. It's implied odds, and this is
All
when you're betting. A lot of times you're thinking about, hey, if I do win this hand, what do I make?
Exactly. Right.
It's very important. Well, this is great. And so, final question. This one is from Robert Asmussen. I'll pull up his thing here, and he says, "Where do you see Savings.com in the next 5 years? And do you aim for certain vertical categories and industries?" 5 years. Savings.com. Is it Amazon? Is it Woot? Is it Gilt Group? What is it?
I tend not to think in 5 years because it's just a little far out for me.
2.
2 and 3 I absolutely look at. In 2 years, we became one of the top 10 online coupon sites. So I would like to be, by the end of next year, I'd like to be in the top 3 for sure. Which is a nice, healthy company making some pretty damn good money because we're doing well now. What I really want to do, what's the home run for us is, as I said before, surfacing those Giovanni Baronis and getting 200 of those and making deal pros in every single category that are accessible by everybody else. And these are people who love it. They love that recognition. They love being the guy that's the best wine expert on savings.com. Totally. And they're getting emailed all the time. They're getting asked questions. I send them iPhones, so they're on IM all the time as well. And those people are driving our community, and we're just sitting back and moderating this community of real people helping real people. That's a $1 billion opportunity. If you've done that well and you're connecting people, it's a social network with a real monetization mechanism underneath it. So that's, if I'm there in 3 years, I'll be so obnoxious.
Well, Robert Rasmussen, who is a social media biz developer, aspiring break dancer, and Asian food enthusiast with 47 followers. And he is coming, I'm pulling him up on my screen here, he's coming to TechCrunch 50 if he can get himself to San Francisco. I can't fly you there. I don't have room in my hotel room for you, but I do have a ticket for you. And you can come to the show. And now is the part of the show that some people think is the best part of the show. Other people think it's Ask Jason. Some people think it's the news. It's the constant debate. What is the best part of TWiST? Is it the news, or is it Ask Jason, or is it the interview guest? Everybody's got a different position on this. Tyler, rank the show. Which of the 3 segments do you like best in order? The interview with the guest. He won't be upset if you say you like Ask Jason or news better.
Like
the news, Ask Jason, what?
I'm contrarian. I like the interview.
You like the interview.
Everyone likes the Ask Jason. Everyone likes the news.
You like the interview.
I like the interview.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So you don't like Lon's segment, you don't like my segment, you like the interview. Okay.
I see you guys all day, every day.
Yeah, you're tired of us.
Yeah.
Tyler Camp. All right, and so now it is time for the news.
This graphic is the best part of it.
The news with Lon Harris. I don't think they can hear my voice when I'm singing like this, right? They can? Oh, thanks for that. The news with Lon Harris. Not Shira Lazar. Hey, Shira. It's not the news with Shira Lazar. Shira Lazar's here.
She's on
Tyler Cam.
She's on Tyler Cam.
Hey, Shira. How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
Good. You doing this week in YouTube?
We're doing it live right after you.
Oh, really?
Little program note.
Oh, programming
By
note.
the way, P.S.
Stay on Ustream.
Yes.
What is the channel on Ustream you'll be on?
It is. It's called This Week in YouTube.
This Week in YouTube on
Ustream.
Ustream.
By the
There you
way,
go.
last week's episode, over 1 million views.
Yes, in 1 week, which is a
wow.
record.
You know that, Jason?
We have a.
It's pretty amazing. I think, and now, what do we attribute this to? Is it to Lon's incredible script, Shira's amazing
Clearly.
delivery, or Megan Fox middle
I
frame?
think it's definitely us
Okay.
working
We were-
together. Our chemistry, Lon and I.
We were
It's
featured.
magical, really.
When you hit the front page of YouTube, we were the number
Really?
one video for much of the week. So that's
Nice.
So everybody-
not anymore, not right now.
And
But
we asked for remix, and a user actually gave me a
we
remix.
did. We got remixed this week.
Wow, that's pretty good. So
right.
everybody
Big week.
knows This Week in Startups. This Week in YouTube is another program we do here at Mahalo Studios. It was originally Mahalo Daily with Veronica Belmont and then Leah D'Amelio. The best part of the show was This Week in YouTube, so we decided to focus on that. The show is now a juggernaut. I mean, every week it gets, on
Yeah.
average, 250,000 viewers.
250,000 to 500,000 views in a week. Yeah. every
Which
week.
means if you get a 500,000 viewers every week on YouTube, you're making like $8.
Yeah.
I mean,
Make
YouTube
as
money.
much as $12.
You can make
per show.
as high as
The
$14.
sky's the limit.
Starbucks, large Starbucks.
Absolutely. We could get Starbucks for almost everybody on the team.
Yeah, we're making Fred money. We are making.
We are
We're pulling in
making
Fred money.
Fred level money.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the news. Is it a slow news week? Is it a big news week?
It was a little bit of a slow news week. You covered actually the biggest story already,
Yes.
which would be the Twitter TechCrunch leaked document debacle.
Yes.
That was really the top story. I
top
think,
story of the
this
week, and
That was one that got everybody talking.
and what can you add to this, Lon? You heard my analysis, I'm sure.
I did.
The
I heard
correct
your-
analysis. And so
Right.
what is
of
your
course.
analysis
What,
of the situation?
What could I possibly add? Yeah, I mean, I think to me it was strange actually to hear this many people questioning whether a news source could publish news, which is they didn't steal it.
Yeah.
Michael Arrington is not sending spies into Twitter to spy on their files and pull data out. Somebody sent it to him. It's newsworthy.
Mm-hmm.
Why on earth would he not publish it? And I was actually surprised that he was going to hold back so much and keep all of their sort of.
Yeah.
I can understand like building codes. You don't need to publish how to get into Twitter's corporate office, but if it's pitches for the Twitter TV show or their internal memos about what they think of Diddy, which I
Yeah.
thought was the most interesting.
Yeah, poor
document,
Diddy.
Was they don't value Diddy's
Dissing
tweets.
Diddy. Has Diddy actually publicly responded to the dissing he received from?
I don't believe he has.
I mean, I think this is the first time in history that Diddy's been dissed by anybody
Yeah.
other than who? I mean, I don't know.
He's a very quiet, reserved guy. He
Does this
doesn't
mean
like to make
Diddy's
going to
send people to San Francisco to Twitter's offices to shoot the place up?
That would be great. If that
I mean, this could be a
happened.
whole
That would
thing,
be
like hip hop versus internet companies.
East Coast versus West Coast Twitterers.
It was a pretty big diss.
I think he's going to start his own competing thing called Twitty.
Twitty.
Twitty. I would
Yeah.
sign up for that.
P. Twitty.
Yeah. East Coast, West Coast.
He should
Yes.
totally do. Yeah, it could be like Jay-Z, where he was like he moved on from Dom to his own champagne.
Yes.
As
Because
he,
they were dissing him. That's true.
Because they were dissing. They're like, we really Dom Perignon. This is the stupidest thing ever. Dom Perignon. Was it Dom?
Yes.
It was Dom Perignon. These French people. Somebody asked the guy in an interview. Somebody can research this for me. I only know I barely remember it. But basically, he's like, Jay-Z and having it in his films, in his the videos. It is not our audience. We don't get too much out of it.
Oh, wow.
Right.
And Jay-Z was like, what?
Oops.
You don't like Dom Perignon being in our videos and us pouring it on the floor to show that we're blown and making it rain with Dom Perignon? He's like, no problem. I will start my own champagne label.
Right.
He started his own sparkling wine label and then raps about how he moved on from Don to Krug Rosé because there's much bigger issues in the world I know, but I first got to take care of the world I know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In the
I
words
like
of
it.
Jay-Z.
I like it.
I don't know what that's from. It's from one of his songs, but he's basically saying
That's the Twitter
the
audience,
critical
though.
interpretation of this would be, you got to take care of your own people.
Absolutely.
Take care of your group.
There's one outstanding point that I didn't see anyone make about this TechCrunch Twitter fiasco.
Yes, Tyler.
Which was,
This is a Tyler Insight. Can we make a graphic for a Tyler Insight? Like it should be like
You're going to use that all
in
the time.
script, a Tyler
That's-
Insight.
Or light bulb.
hang on to your hats, folks.
That's going to get
The one
used
point
a
that
lot.
nobody brought up is that TechCrunch is a suggested user on Twitter.
Yes.
And somebody could certainly forgive Twitter for magically making that suggested user disappear. And I wonder how much Mike values that suggested user. As you yourself were willing to offer $250,000 to be a suggested user?
For the at answers or at questions
I
account,
think
yes.
Twitter would certainly be within reason to.
Knock them off the list.
Well, they're overdue to remove somebody soon anyway.
Yeah. They would never do that. I think Valleywag printed a correction today, which is amazing. I mean, Owen, 90% of what he wrote was wrong. He never wrote a correction. And now Ryan Tate, who took over Valleywag, which Valleywag is just a section of Gawker now, actually wrote incorrectly that they actually did remove them when they didn't. He just didn't realize how it worked or whatever because they rotate people. Gawker and Valleywag did a correction? Really? I thought their idea was to slam people, to lie, to print anything that came into their Yahoo account, and then let the chips fall over May. So good for you, Gawker. Printing
Wow,
corrections.
Somebody should remix that. That's something you don't hear every day.
Good for Gawker.
Good
for
for
you.
Gawker.
You go.
The other issue, I think, was direct messages. Would you feel comfortable still sending a direct message to someone that was a little private on Twitter, knowing it was so easy to get into their administrative system?
I have a pretty easy rule of thumb, which is I never, ever say anything in email or digitally that I don't expect to be broadcast to the world. Because one time back in the early days of blogging, somebody wrote something, this guy Jake Dobkin wrote this whole thing about how blogging baby was the worst idea and we jumped the shark. And my partner's wife was working on it, this other person was working on it, and they basically dissed us. And I said, like, what are you doing? Why would you diss that like that? Like, what's wrong with this? It's people's like wives and mothers. And I like said, like, what the F is wrong with you? Like on instant message, and it got leaked. Of course, they took pictures. Of course, press forever. But I basically cursed the guy out and threatened him. Not like threatened him physically or anything like that. But I was like, you know, like you're an idiot. Like I could have been an advocate for you. Blah 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 blah.
Right.
And we wound up squashing the beef. But ever since that point, I don't write anything in email unless I assume it's going to be done. And sometimes I'll do it as a joke. I'll send somebody who says something about me, like an SEO or something, a direct message, knowing they're going to print it.
Right.
And isn't everything on Twitter public anyway? I
Well, if
you
you
can
send a
search
direct
it.
message.
Well, the direct message
the
idea
direct
is
message,
that it's
yeah.
private, but
Yeah.
that's what we're saying is maybe not. Who knows?
Assume
Anybody can get in there. And
everything digital will be compromised because it will be.
Right.
And anything that you have that's digital is already compromised. Don't think for a minute there is not an engineer or 2 or 20 at Yahoo, Microsoft, or Google who is not reading your Google Docs today. IT people, developers, they'll take a peek. They're not above it. I'm telling you, there's a million people. It's too tempting for an IT guy. I'm not saying all IT guys. I'm saying 0.1%.
Right.
But if there's 10,000 people at Microsoft or Yahoo or Google or any other IT company, that's 100 guys or gals who are going to go look at the server logs, hack into your account, and look at your documents. That's why I wouldn't put things on Basecamp or some of these other sites where it's like, I'm going to put my project management for my Web 2.0 company on another Web 2.0 company site. No, thank you. Assume it will be compromised because it's probably already compromised. And never put anything in email or write anything down that you wouldn't want the whole world to see. So I would never write down like, blah, 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 blah is more trouble than they're worth. I mean, so shame on Evan for making notes like P. Diddy. You shouldn't write that down. You can think it. You could say it to somebody. I would never write that down.
it's also funny if you look at the notes, they write notes from their business meetings like tweets.
Yes.
They're all like one line,
Yeah,
like
of course.
real short.
They think in
They have
140 characters. or
hashtags in
less.
there. It's really interesting.
Evan's a friend of mine. Biz is a friend of mine. I feel very sorry for them. It's a terrible thing. It's a horrible feeling to have your information compromised. I mean, it's a huge violation. It's like having your house. It's worse than having your house robbed in some ways.
When they had like alarm codes to their building, I mean, it's a lot of inside.
Yeah,
kind of
I think
birthdays of the staff.
The big takeaway from this is the web. If you're going to store stuff on the web, you need to have a deeper level of security. And I think the solution to this is the RSA, Secure ID, or a fob where the number changes on a regular basis. You can pull an image up, Alex, of an RSA fob. But essentially, it's a little device that does numbers that change every minute.
Right.
So if you logged into your Gmail, you could have that. Why can't I have that with my Gmail I would love to have that. I would pay you $200 a year per user to have that. They put it on their keychain. If they don't have that, they can't log into their email documents. That's the best way to secure it. That would never have this would never have happened. People could pick the password. You still wouldn't be able to log in because you'd need that code.
Yeah.
Piece of cake. They cannot be compromised. It's never happened. Anyway.
Don't pick the password.
There it is. That's a secure ID. If anybody was ever wondering, you put that on your keychain. The number changes every 30 seconds. Like I have bank accounts and stuff like that in Switzerland where I keep all my poker winnings and all that. Oh, sorry. Anyway, what's that?
The clam bank.
The clam bank. Because we keep the clams.
No
You don't have a clam bank in Switzerland for your clams? Of course you do. Anyway, moving on. What's our next?
Investment bank Piper Jaffray has written a proposal to Google that Google should begin charging a nominal fee for people to upload videos that won't be conducive for advertising. A big problem on YouTube. A lot of videos on there. A lot of them are very amateurish.
Yeah.
A lot of them are copywritten content. So it's hard to sell advertising based on those kinds of videos. So this is suggesting there's sort of tiers that you would have those kinds of videos that aren't going to get a lot of advertising, and then you pay to upload them, and then all the other kinds of videos that you think will be conducive to advertising, you would put up for free, and then you make advertising dollars. So can you see this ever happening? You think people would pay, and you think Google would actually enact this sort of a system?
This is why this person works at Piper Jaffray and not at a startup company. This is the stupidest idea ever. I mean, the reason Google has done so well and has tremendous market share is because they let everybody upload everything, and then how would they know that Fred is going to be the one that breaks? How do they know which one's going to break? And it's not true that they can't make money off of these other videos. They have overlay ads and text ads all around them, and so you need to have the entire corpus, and you need to have everybody uploading in order to have the community. It's going to hit profitability. Everybody shut up about YouTube profitability. Google made profit, billions of dollars in profit last quarter. $500 million losing to bandwidth is nothing to Google. And it's everything to Google to have the largest video site with 60, 70, 80% market share. Do you know what that's worth? It's worth a lot of money. They got a steal buying YouTube for $1.7 billion. Everybody shut up about YouTube being profitable. You don't know what you're talking about. It's going to hit profitability. They could hit profitability today if they put a pre-roll ad on everything. Yes, it would be annoying, but they could put a pre-roll ad on every 5th video you saw, and they could be profitable today. What they are doing is preserving the user experience to get market share, to keep a competitor from coming in, and there will eventually, the trajectory is going like this for profitability. And the cost structure is going like this. So it's, yes, it costs more, but profitability is going like this. They're going to make it there. They're Google. They have time. So Piper Jaffray and other people, bloggers, shut up about it already. I don't know if did I make it any, can I make it any clearer? It's an insignificant amount of money they're wasting in quotes, on the YouTube bandwidth. Shut up about it already. It's worth the investment to have that market share. I don't know, Loren, what do you think about this whole issue?
I think it makes complete sense.
Yeah, like, would you pay to upload your video? The whole reason YouTube became so huge was because they allowed it to be free. Now, what they could do is a freemium model. Tyler and I went to the book signing for free. Chris Anderson, my pal's book. And by the way, he got a raw deal with that whole, citation issue.
Yes.
But it's a whole different story. Anyway, as he said at this, book party at Goober's house. Peter Gruber's house, which was a little bit of a ridiculous house.
Shack, kind of a.
Yeah, it was like a little shanty.
It's a silly little.
I mean, honestly,
like
it's like a doghouse. Literally, when you drive up to this house, there's a gate like this. So you drive up this ramp, and
you're going to a hotel.
It feels like you're going into a hotel. There's a drive. It's a big circle, and then you go in, and the library is literally 10,000 feet. It's the size of Mahalo, the library. And
wow.
No offense to Peter Gruber if he's watching. I don't suppose he is. If anybody's a friend of Peter Gruber, don't send him this clip. But Tyler and I.
Incredibly sweet guy, though.
Very sweet guy. He was very cordial. I think he's very intelligent and considered. But it was a little weird to have a lounge like that in your house, which I always find it weird when guys have a picture of themselves with every famous person on the planet.
Yes.
And not only that, a picture of them shaking hands with every famous person on the planet, and the autograph of the person on that picture. Because what that says to me is you've brought a photographer with you to shake Tom Cruise's hand. Then you sent the picture to Tom Cruise to have him sign it to you, Peter Gruber, and then you framed it in your house and put a silver frame on it with an engravement saying Peter Gruber with Tom Cruise, as if we don't know who that person is.
He's a pretty powerful guy. Maybe they came to him.
I don't know. But it's like Nelson Mandela, Bill Clinton, Steven Spielberg. I
He
was
makes
just
a
like,
call, and
I know, but I just is that weird or not? Am I just being my neurotic self?
Some people value different things.
It just feels odd when people do that. It's just too much.
Yeah.
And then he had like
smacks of effort.
there was a trophy case along the wall with, I kid you not, 50 People Choice Awards and Palme d'Ors, a
Palme d'Ors for
zillion
Peter
Emmys.
Gruber?
I don't
Really?
think you can name an award that wasn't in. that show.
He literally had like Emmys everywhere. Like I went to the bathroom, there was an Emmy holding the door open on the floor.
Did it
there
be
was
given to
Emmys
him?
everywhere.
Really?
There was an Emmy.
Because he makes like Wild Wild West. He's not.
He had
making-
4 Emmys in the bottom of the pool. I saw them. there were Emmys everywhere in this place. I mean, literally, there was an Emmy in the umbrella stand. It was everywhere. And then every single movie the guy's ever made was in a lucite. He made hundreds of films.
He's made a lot of films.
So along, I'm not kidding, a 50-foot wall, there were, I don't know, 300 lucites of every film. And you're looking at some of them and like, I wouldn't have lucited this film. I wouldn't have green-lighted this film.
Like 80% of the guy's filmography not lucite worthy. I would
But a
say.
cool guy and a cool thing. And anyway, freemium is the model.
Doing better
So
than me.
what YouTube could do is they could say, free up to 100,000 views. Then after that you pay. Free up to 10 minutes. Above that is $1. Free for non-HD. HD costs $1. You have to have a pro account, which is $10 a month to have HD videos. Something like that would
Maybe
work.
ads show on the pro accounts or ads show on certain times of account.
Yeah.
If it's longer than this length, you show ads. I
Yeah,
agree.
so
They're
there's a
going to do
million
some of
different
those
things you can
things.
do.
They're just
Well,
waiting till the right time.
And they already do
Exactly.
have the time limit on there, so that would be a natural way to develop. Is you're already limited to 10 minutes.
Yeah, or maybe
You'll
you
roll
want
in
to go.
between that.
You want to
yeah.
go 20, you get an ad put in the
Yeah.
middle or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry for the whole side thing on Peter Gruber's house, but it was important for us to do that. Next time, Tyler, when you come, can you take some pictures of these things so we can share with the audience his inside stuff?
I have a photo of his like grotto.
There was a grotto?
That patio outside of the. Like,
Yeah, the
theater,
patio is pretty dope.
next to the theater.
Next to the
The
theater.
screening room.
Yeah. The theater.
Incredible. It
Yeah.
had a chandelier hanging outside.
This was craziness. Anyway,
How do you hang a chandelier
I
outside?
have a photo. I'll
From
show
a
you. It's
tree?
incredible.
What do you do?
It's incredible.
I don't know. Peter
doesn't seem
Gruber,
like it would
pretty
work.
cool house. Okay, next
All
story.
right, moving on. New startup, Black Box Republic, raised $1 million in funding for what they call a sex-positive social network. They say they're serving a previously ignored audience.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What's the name of this?
It is Black Box Republic. I believe it's just blackboxrepublic.com.
Okay.
I have to look it up. It is a sex-positive social network and dating site. They say they are different from a traditional dating site. They're serving a sort of more open, sex-positive, younger community than most of these relationship sites. And their special twist on it, new users have to be vouched for by more experienced members before they can do everything on the site, like view other profiles. The site costs $25 a month, and users can opt to forward a portion of their membership fee to a charity. Do you think there's an opening for more of these dating relationship sites? Or there's so many that there's just a glut of them now and it'll be hard to get people to pay?
I'm sorry, is this a swinger site?
I don't think it's so much swingers, it's more...
Did you see these icons here? Because this is an icon of somebody alone.
No, well, that's
This
what
is
they
an
mean
icon
by
of two
Sex
women and a
positive,
guy.
they're open for whatever.
This is
I guess.
Exact. That's the kind. It's sex positive. So if you are, you want an open relationship, you are, you're gay, or do you want some sort of other non-traditional partnership? That's what the site is all about. That's sort
All
of their twist on it.
Okay, so this is a place to go find people to have sex with in a non-traditional fashion.
Well, they're not just saying sex. They're saying
Whatever.
sex is one of the things, but it's a social network and a dating site. So
Well, the truth is, like Adult Friend Finder, huge business.
Right.
There's
Ashley
Madison has become a
I
huge
saw a
business.
commercial for that on TV last night, mainstream TV.
really,
For Ashley Madison.
They're obviously making money. I mean,
Yeah.
this is like basically everybody realized eHarmony, which is the like original, really smart dating site, Christian or whatever. It's not Christian, but it's
Somewhat
sort of
just conservative.
conservative, wholesome, whatever word you want to use.
It's just marriage-based. The eHarmony.
marriage-based
That's
is the
whole
goal.
thing. You're going to get married.
So if you can have an eHarmony, then certainly you can have a, I don't know
Black
what,
Box Republic.
whatever it is. Looking at this, I'm looking at the dudes who, can you pull this up on the screen here? I'm looking at the people on the site. Can we pull up my screen? Honestly, these people are swingers. I can tell. I can tell just looking at this that this is like a swinger type vibe. Like this is a place to hook up. It's like a Craigslist casual encounters type group of people.
I think
Like this dude here, Matthew
people
Sweet.
that work there.
Check out this.
Yeah,
dude.
no, these are the people who founded and work at the
This
site,
this
yes.
dude Matthew Sweet. No offense, Matthew, but seriously, I mean, there's something weird going
They
on
all
here.
met in that club, right?
Yeah, these guys are all.
Hey, they're hiring.
They are hiring. So, No, this is not going to work, I predict. I always think these vertical social networks, I don't see it happening. I think the other social networks are so powerful. I don't see the need for it, I'll be honest. If you were, I mean, you have the choice, open relationship on Facebook, on these other things.
Right, it does seem like there's a lot of options already to connect with people for these kinds of relationships if you wanted to start one.
Not going to work, sorry. I just don't, Ning has a couple of vertical social networks around topics.
Right.
I think there's like, if it was specifically a vertical social network for people who are into this fetish, yes. Vertical social network for people who are more open about sex, to me, just seems too broad. You know, like everybody fancies themselves to be open about sex or whatever. It doesn't seem to, like, why do I have to be there? If it was specifically for, I don't know, lesbians,
latex fetishes,
whatever, latex fetishes, whatever you're into, Lon. I'm not.
That's right.
I'm not going to judge the latex.
That's my
latex
pitch.
Box Republic or whatever.
Yeah. Another thing I think with a lot of the dating sites, I think their first challenge is getting attractive women to come to the site, and then the guys come in droves. That seems like a site to me that, I don't want to stereotype and say the guys are more kinky than women, but usually,
a lot of smarmy guys.
Usually, so it seems like it's going to be like 90% guys and hard time finding like women.
That's always the joke of it. Like all these guys who are into this stuff are always like, you're just like, oh, like terrible. Oh, so I got invited here in LA. I'm not even kidding. Like these sex parties, I guess, that are.
Oh my.
Not like swinger parties, but like they have like erotic parties in LA.
Yes.
So when I moved here from New York, people are like, oh, you want to come to this party? And there's people like, I don't know if they're having sex or they're
like
dressed
eyes wide
sexy.
shut. You
it's
gotta
like
show off
somehow like eyes wide. And I was like, no, why would I? What? Why would I want to go to that?
Forward that invitation along next time.
Is that really? Okay,
I'll get the little face.
No, but it was also like the person.
Fidelio.
The person inviting me was I was just like, I don't see it, but this apparently this is a big part of LA culture is these sort of sexy parties. They have a whole. What's the whole festival they have every year at the Staples Center or the Convention Center?
Oh, there's Erotic LA.
There's Erotic LA, which is like is it a porn convention or is it just like?
Well, there's both. There's there's porn conventions, and then there's also the sort of adult lifestyle kind of.
Right, adult lifestyle. Yes.
Yeah.
This episode's going in a very dark place.
Off the rails.
Yes, off the rails. But yeah, this is not going to work. This will be in the Deadpool. Speaking of the Deadpool,
we have a new entry for the Deadpool this week. It is the Printed Blog. It was a service that aggregated blog posts and then published them in a newspaper format.
Okay, could somebody? This is it.
That's the Printed Blog. Yes. It was a blog aggregator. They would go get good blog posts and then put them together. The site distributed 80,000 paper copies in 16 issues over the last 6 months. Founder Josh Karp shut down the service. He was unable to find funding.
Is not April 1st, right?
No, this was very real.
It's July 15th or 16th or something. It's not April 1st.
No.
This was a real company.
This was an actual company he was making.
Who funded this company?
Nobody. It was this one guy,
Well,
Josh
that makes
Karp,
sense.
and then he started this idea on his own.
Yeah.
And he was looking for funding, never got funding, had to shut it down after 6 months.
Okay, so Elizabeth, I'm going to be fair to this. This sounds like the worst idea in the world.
Right.
In some ways, it is. The whole reason people are reading blogs is because they're not in print, and it's a new voice or whatever. A compilation of the best of the web might be interesting to read when you're at the beach, but...
Coffee table.
I think maybe a book of the best of people's blogs might be more interesting something.
There are books of collecting the best blog writing by year, I think.
Okay, so that's fine. But I mean, honestly, the problem with this is also the printed blog. The problem is there are blogs about so many different things. So what am I getting from this? Am I getting fiction? Is this political blogs?
I believe it was in sections like a newspaper. So you get sports blogs.
So that's even worse. If this was political blogs, the best of political blogs, then at least you'd have a built-in audience that say, okay, when I pick this up, I'm going to get politics. Or if it was the best of media blogs, as people talking about media, at least you feel that it was about something.
Right.
But this was a ambitious, bad idea, and printing almost anything is a terrible idea.
You should have taken it one more step, which is what I'm planning to do a handwritten blog. where I write everything and I mail them to people.
Yeah,
Really?
on
Their
parchment
comments,
with a
yeah,
quill.
With a quill pen.
Yeah, yeah.
It actually would, yeah, be more considered. Can you imagine if people who are commenting to TechCrunch had to write a letter by hand and then have it transcribed in? That would raise the level, because nobody's going to write first and then put a stamp on it and mail it, and nobody's going to be like, why don't you tell your mom, blah, blah, blah.
YouTube commenters should have to do
YouTube
this.
commenters.
YouTube commenters should have to.
That's what YouTube should charge for. If you want to
Yay.
post... Actually, there's all right, let's just get this the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this right into here.
It would open up a new market for those wax
Trying to figure out where I should put this one. I say I have a big spot here, but I'm wondering if I should put it over Wikia Search, which was Jimmy Wales' company. Should I put it over?
You got a spot right there.
I got a spot right
Got
there?
a spot above Cosmo.
So long, printed blog. Sorry.
In the Deadpool.
We're not really making fun of the people in the Deadpool as much as celebrating failure, which
Learning
is the precursor to success. Give us one more news story, and then I think we have to wrap up.
Yeah.
We're going to do homework on the next show. Sorry about homework. Oh, and also, very sorry that Chuck Norris couldn't make it this week. He had a family emergency. He lives up the road, but he did promise that he's going to come back to the show in August. We're working it out because he's got a couple of other things going on. But to Chuck Norris, who I've been having great email exchanges with, and I had coffee with the other day, and he comes over to my house to play poker. Chuck Norris, we're going to definitely have you on the other show. Hope everything's okay with the family.
Yeah.
Well wished to Chuck Norris.
Definitely.
He was here, but he was by the office the other day. He
Sure.
was a pretty cool
I was
guy.
saying you didn't bump Chuck Norris, did you? Chuck Norris
We
does
didn't
not
bump
get
Chuck.
bumped.
Chuck Norris doesn't get bumped. Sorry, Loren, we love you.
Yeah.
Chuck
No.
Norris
Understand.
quite literally kicks ass. And he would be here
You don't
if it
bump
was
him.
a family emergency. I understand the dog or something. I don't know. Whatever it is.
Something
I hope the dog's okay. The dog counts as family. But he was here by the
Sure,
office. He was hanging out here with the laptop. Cool guy.
Whoever Chuck Norris wants to count as family, we're
But,
counting.
pretty cool guy. Hung out for a little while, said hello to everybody, signed some autographs. And he's very much into the internet. He's got a couple of
I
internet
didn't
projects.
realize how in touch he was with the web.
He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
2 phones, not 1. 2.
BlackBerry, I was like, wow.
Yeah. And he's
got the newest apps. And
he was like he's got the pre, and he's like, I'm getting the pre. I'm like, you have 2 phones already, Chuck Norris. How many phones do you need? But obviously Chuck Norris needs 3 phones. That's how wired Chuck Norris is.
Yeah.
It's interesting. But
It
August,
is.
you look forward to that in 2 weeks. Not this Friday, the Friday after Chuck Norris on the program.
Can't wait for that. That's exciting.
It's going to be exciting. So give us
Last news story, the National Institute of Health had the staff of the Wikimedia Foundation come teach them how to use Wikipedia. The idea is that in the case of a complex health issue like swine flu, the public already is going to Wikipedia. They want to educate National Institute of Health experts to go and update the site so that the public can get better information. You think that the participation of experts like this is a first-of-its-kind effort, would make Wikipedia a place that you could actually go and rely on for important topics such as health information.
Listen, if there's a real outbreak, you're going to want to go to the NIH's site.
Right.
Yeah.
It is helpful that you can go to Wikipedia to get background. Wikipedia is more correct than wrong. They've done statistical studies on that. You'll have more correct facts than incorrect facts. The internet is a place to start your search for knowledge and the truth. It is not the final destination. You take whatever you find, and then you go talk to a doctor, and you debate it with them or another health professional. And if you go to a doctor, you take the information they give you, and then you go online and you fact check it and fisk it there. So I don't think anybody uses the internet alone as their only source.
Hundreds of millions of people went and looked up the swine flu page on
Of course,
Wikipedia.
just for background. I mean, they're not going to make a decision to take their kid to the hospital or not based on that, are they?
You think? I
I
don't
bet a
trust
lot
the
of people
American
do.
public that
I
much.
bet a
a
lot
lot
of
of
people
people do.
All right.
And they shouldn't.
All right.
But I bet a lot
I bet
of
they
people
type in swine flu to Google, first or second thing that comes up is Wikipedia, and then they click that, and that's where they go.
All right. So I have a favor to ask everybody. Can somebody clip what I'm about to say and make a YouTube video of it, and then can everybody email it to the stupid people they know? Dear stupid people of the world, do not trust any information you find on the internet, any information you find in the library, any information you find in a newspaper, when it comes to life and death decisions. If somebody in your family is sick or you're sick, go to the emergency room. Do not look for the solution to your swine flu on the interwebs. Go to the doctor if you feel sick. It's not the end of the world. There's walk-in clinics that cost, what, $50?
Sure.
What is the problem with the stupid people in the world who refuse to go to the doctor? If you're sick, if your leg is turning green and pieces of flesh are falling off, go to the doctor. If you weigh 1,000 pounds, stop eating and go to the doctor and get help. If you feel depressed and suicidal, go to the doctor and get help. That's why we have doctors. That's the end of the message to the stupid people of the world. Somebody can end it here and clip it and put it on YouTube with the title of Message from Jason to the Stupid People of the World About Their Health. Good enough?
It's a long title. I don't know if that's really
Whatever
the way
it
to
is. Can
maximize
somebody
traffic.
please clip that and put that up? It's a message from me to stupid people.
Megan Fox gives advice to stupid people. That would be
And
better.
if we could have Megan
More-
Fox
you
as
get
the
more
middle
people
clip, where you
taking
can
a look.
you can put me in a little box and then put just pictures of Megan Fox around it
There
to get
you
the
go.
stupid people in,
Gold.
and also bacon. So we can just have bacon,
Megan Fox eating bacon, yeah.
This should be a message to stupid people from Megan Fox and the Bacon Academy, and then it will just be me actually explaining to them when they're sick to go to the doctor. I never understand this, people.
No, well, that's. I mean, Wikipedia's numbers. If you look, they had a chart on this article I read.
Of course.
The numbers for swine flu. I mean, people. That's where people went to look it up. Well, among other places.
To get
I'm sure.
information, but if they really felt they had it, I don't know if that'd be
Right.
the last place you'd
No,
look, to your point. But to
I
get
agree.
general information, it's probably going to be accurate, probably.
Hopefully.
It's a great starting point. And just like if you're using Mahalo, if you're using Mahalo Answers, if you're using Yahoo Answers, I mean, I see people post questions on Mahalo Answers and Yahoo Answers where they ask questions like, should I smoke marijuana if I'm breastfeeding or if I'm pregnant?
Or if I'm babysitting, wasn't that one
It's
of them
just
too?
crazy. Like,
when I babysit my 3-year-old, is it okay if I smoke marijuana? I think somebody asked that.
yeah, you know what? Let me
great.
go
It's
out.
a great
I
idea.
could go out on a limb here. If you're babysitting, don't get high. Don't get drunk, and watch the kid. When you're done babysitting, take your $12 and sure, go buy a dime bag and get high and eat Cheetos and watch reruns of whatever show you watch, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or something when you're high. But don't get high and babysit. And don't even ask that question because it just shows how stupid you are. I mean, it's incredible.
Or come ask it because it's entertaining.
Why?
for us.
Oh, actually, do come ask it. So
Please,
actually, you know what? I
come
shouldn't
ask.
discourage stupid people from asking questions.
Yeah. How is Babby formed?
But how
It's got
is
millions of
Babby
hits.
formed? How is Babby formed? This is a famous meme. How is Babby formed?
Was a Yahoo Answers
Okay, can we pull up the
question.
How is Babby formed? We're going to end the show with that.
B-A-B-B-Y, I believe.
B-A-B-B-Y.
Babby.
Pull
How
up
is Babby
it's a
formed?
flash video. It's on YouTube. We're going to end the show with How is Babby formed.
There you go.
Final question from the audience. Mask asks, M-A-S-K, he asked this a couple minutes ago. He wants to know who will get to 1 billion users first, YouTube or Twitter? That's a good question.
That was in Twitter's internal documents. They want to be the first to 1 billion users.
Yeah.
Billion users?
Yeah.
Members, I guess. I think they mean members.
I think they mean like actual subscriptions.
Well, what is like
accounts
Google
or
has? I think they mean accounts, right?
Yes.
This
they
is a
mean
goal
visitors.
of everyone. Yeah,
might be
visitors.
I mean,
what is
7
the lo-
billion
what is-
people in the world. I mean,
What does Yahoo and Google have in terms of worldwide visitors? 400.
The video.
Yeah, you do. We'll end with that. 400. Thank you. 400 million.
Sounds right. I haven't looked.
Three.
it up.
What is the? Yeah, 3 or 400 million. Okay. So
YouTube or Twitter?
YouTube.
I would think so.
Clearly,
key
YouTube.
difference between the two, though. The Twitter you can use on your phone, and they're thinking
More of them
Africa,
quickly.
everybody,
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. That's a good point, Tyler. Another Tyler Insight. We need the Tyler Insight next week, Alex. I want like script.
Is that an
like,
audio effect?
Another Tyler Insight. I would like a jingle. Somebody make a jingle. You come to TechCrunch 50. You make a jingle about Tyler Insight. We want to have a Tyler Insight jingle for the next show in 2 weeks, and I will thank you, and I will have Chuck Norris sign your Mahalo beach towel. How about that? A little Chuck Norris action. He'll autograph some stuff.
Does he autograph things? He just like slams somebody's head into it.
Yeah.
That's a Chuck Norris
With
autograph.
the blood stain.
Right. Yeah.
He'll just. All right. So
kicks it.
let me thank Loren Bendele for being on the program. You were excellent.
Yeah, thank you for having
You're
me.
only 45 minutes late for your meeting. Yeah, I had to go somewhere, but that's okay.
It's all
This
right.
is more important. Thanks to Alex for producing the show. Tyler for doing a good job with his incredible insights. Lon did an okay job with the news.
Oh, I tried my best.
No, you did great. You did great. Sorry to ruin your lead-in story there. Is there any other stories of important note that we should really...
We had a few other stories.
What's the most important one? Because I hate to leave an important story on
I
the
think
table.
breaking news online, the Twitter
What?
feed.
Breaking news story. We have a breaking news story.
No, that's the name, the Twitter account.
Oh.
Breaking News Online. They post all the most up to date.
Yes.
They're planning an iPhone app. It'll come out next month. $1.99 to download it. 99 cents per month. And is there any concern for content creators? These guys are just a middleman. They don't do reporting.
Yeah.
They're linking you to other stories and then charging you for it.
Yeah,
As
curation.
a content creator, would you be concerned about that at all? That you are going to be cut out of this deal?
You're paying for the filtering of it. They're going to link to you. You can't copyright the headline. I mean, this is the whole nonsense. What somebody said about 3 weeks ago, the first week of July. Somebody's like, "Oh, well, we should give a moratorium on anybody paraphrasing a news story." Hello, what do you think newspapers do all the time? Everybody's paraphrasing. If I'm the New York Times and Wall Street Journal breaks a story, I write about it. So they're saying to be a moratorium, only one person would be able to react to a story. There's some stupid senator. Can we do some research on who this person was who did this? It's crazy. But yes, no, they shouldn't worry, and they certainly shouldn't worry because nobody's going to pay for that. Who's paying $1 a month for that? Nobody's going to pay $1 a month.
Well, you can do push notifications wherever you are. Your iPhone will just update you on important news. I mean, imagine if you were out,
I could
out
also,
and about, you didn't know about...
There's a web browser on it. CNN, Drudge Report, New York Times,
true.
Dig. Who the...
Well, just if I'm on the go, I'm not paying attention, and all of a sudden my phone just is like, oh, Steve McNair has been killed, or this thing has happened, or earthquake in Iran.
You know who would buy that? News editors.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to buy somebody telling them what's breaking. Yeah. Exactly correct. Exactly correct.
Yeah, but who's going to filter it? Like, just interesting things, right? I don't want to be annoyed by
Yes,
a bunch
that
of
is,
different
with the
random-
push notifications, that is a concern.
Therein lies the rub. I mean, I use Google alerts for my name, Mahalo, Knicks, Jimmy Wales fouls, in quotes. I mean, it's that one I had to put on weekly because there's too many every day. So let's also thank our sponsors, and you, the audience, can do your job. If you appreciate the show, a lot of effort goes into it, you should appreciate the sponsors, and you should thank them on your Twitter or Facebook, and you should thank them by saying thanks to @DNAMal, one word, @WebSpy, @Ustream, and Full Tilt Poker for getting me to the World Series program, even though they're not a sponsor. Thank them right now. I'm going to pick a final person who thanks them. So whoever thanks them right now, I'm going to pick a final person to come to TechCrunch 50. Did we give about 8,000 tickets to TechCrunch? No, we get under 5, right? Yeah. 5? Okay. Keep it to 5. So thanks, everybody. Next week, we're off. But the following week, Chuck Norris on This Week in Startups. That's going to be a big show.
Awesome.
That is.
Awesome.
And stay tuned for This Week in
yes,
YouTube
and stay tuned
in a half hour.
In half an hour at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. I'll be wearing the same shirt.
Same shirt, which is reason enough to tune
there.
in. And we will see you next time on This Week. Oh, wait, here's the person we thanked. We already got somebody. Oh, look at this. A message from Jason to the stupid people of the world. Did this person...
did somebody put it up already?
Did somebody actually do that? That's pretty
That
genius
is-
if they did. Open that in a new window. Let's see.
You have a very dedicated audience.
They are. They're pretty good at what they do.
They do, yes.
If this person actually streamed the show and then recorded it...
Yeah.
Oh, he did it with their phone.
He actually recorded
phone.
the screen. Very clever.
That is hysterical.
Well done.
Genius.
Well done.
This person is a genius. You can edit it. It's me talking to stupid people. So
That's gonna be
it
important. That's gonna
looks
help a lot of
like
people.
the first person to thank the sponsors. I don't know who the first person was, but anyway, here is the Hunter Owens, and he says thank you to WebSpy, Ustream, and DNA Mal for TWiST. And Hunter Owens is from Southern California. He's the founder of My Tech Question, vivid passion for technology, industrial design, and business. And mytechquestions.com is the ultimate tech support solution. We remotely connect you to your computer and solve your problems, only $30 per hour, and no charge unless your problem is resolved. Relax. You found us. So you both get a Hunter, you get a commercial for mytechquestion.com, and you get to come to TechCrunch 50, September 14th and 15th. It's going to be awesome. See you next time.
That was bad.
How is baby formed? How girl get pregnant? They need to do weigh-in stain mother. Who killed the babies? Because these baby cat fricks back? It was on the news this morning. A mother in who had killed her 3 kids. They are taking the 3 baby back to New York.
Like we always do at this time, I go